How did you get it?
My niece, she had a baby.
So did they make her sign it? Did they try to get her to sign it, or they give it to her, or what?
It's the same process. You've got 6 weeks before you have to present it at the registrar, I guess.
Wow.
The usual 6 weeks. You know, give you time to think about a name or whatever it is that they would need to do.
Wow. The registration document then. Yeah.
And is she going to try to rebut it then, Fabian?
Say that again, sorry, Mike.
Is she going to try to rebut it, or is she going to...
I think they're going to go ahead with it, but they're not... Well, look, I'll say this. It's just an A4 piece of paper. Nothing special about the paper. It's obviously... It comes off straight from the database, so it's printed out. Sorry, I'm just trying to look for it here. It's printed out. It's Carl. It just says It just says registering the birth of your baby. That's all it says. That's what they hand them now, and that's what they have to go to the birth and whatever registrar.
See, the only thing I can think about that is if they're still creating the birth notification manual for the midwife, then the thing about it, that what is it your sister? Niece. That what your niece has got is probably a form to fill out to give to the midwife, and then the midwife goes and fills out the birth notification form. Do you see?
I don't know. She didn't put it like that. She just said, "This is what I've got to take down to the registrar." But going back on the old BNF form,
if that's the case, then if you've got to take it down to the registrar, then the registrar might have already been sent that form from the hospital.
I reckon so.
When they get the information from you, they'll fill out that notification form what they've got.
Yeah, I reckon so because as you know, everything's like that.
That's my understanding of it as well, because they start the proceedings already before you even get down there, don't they?
Yes, I would imagine so. They would just make sure that you've got the same paperwork that they've already received from the hospital. But
it's the surname. It's the surname, isn't it? So once they get the surname,
that's when they have to do the
matching up.
Yeah, but Carl, the last time she used that 4-part BNF was in 2017. No, sorry. Yes, 2017 apparently.
Well, I've got a copy in the files, which they had the manual for 2018 manual.
Right.
Okay.
So I know the manual goes up, and I think the manual goes up every year. So
right,
I'll have a look to see if I can find a new one. See if there's a newer one.
Fabian, right? Do you know if your niece is going to mind doing a DSOR on the hospital and getting her records, just so we can obviously have some idea? But if you obviously sanitize it and just block out her name and her details, or just change the name and the details, just so we've got an idea of the information that's actually in there.
Yeah, I could.
If she does a DSOR on the hospital for all of the records, particularly the birth records of the baby, I'll be interested to know what's in there.
Well, I've been asking her to go back and get the records for her other 2 children who are still below the age of where they discard the so-called information. You said 20 years, Carl. I think it's only 10 for a hospital. I could be wrong.
They say 25 years.
Yeah, I was told 25 years by the hospital in which I was born.
Yeah.
me too.
So 25
Okay.
years.
Okay. Well, I'll get back to her.
Sorry. Do you know that form? Do you know that form what was given to your niece?
Yeah.
Has it got any name? Has it got a surname written on it already?
They call it Baby Dixon. So yeah.
Right. So they've got Baby Dixon.
But it's in small caps, Carl.
Right. No, that's fine. It's all in small caps.
Yeah, apart from the first letter of the surname.
Right. So the thing. So What? It's all capital letters?
No, it's in small letters.
It's in uppercase, lowercase?
Yes.
Okay, so you got Baby Dixon.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's probably because, Carl, her two previous are obviously from that hospital, I believe. And so
that's cool. No, that's cool. That's cool. Because all I'm trying to find out and look at is make sure she takes a photocopy of that document.
She did. She's already scanned it, but because it's just, I said to him, "What are you going to do?" And he said to me, he's going to keep the original and give them a copy. But I'm thinking, well, doesn't make any difference. It's not a special piece of paper by any means of the imagination.
Always give them back their original copy anyway. Always give them back their, because that's their property. So always give them back their original copy, no matter what. Always take a photocopy and keep yours, because then that's your original. But yeah, no, the only reason I'm saying that is because if she now sends that over to them and they send back a certified copy of an entry, now you can see the switch of the name if the name's been changed into capital letters on the certified copy of an entry.
Yeah.
Do you see? And then you can question that and say, well, hold up a minute. We wrote the name down like this. Why has it come like that as an acronym or whatever language they're trying to use?
Right. Good point. I'll make a note of that.
Because you have to.
And remember, it says baby surname, because obviously they don't know the first Christian name yet, do they?
Okay. So what was the date of birth? Is the date of birth on there as well?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's on there.
That's cool. Now, yeah, as long as you keep a photocopy of that, because the thing about it, what happens then is you now see this process on when she signs it or whatever and sends it back. What is the registration date? What's going to be on the certified copy of an entry?
Yeah. Hold on, let me just make those points. So does it change to capitalization?
Yeah, it will do. The surname will change to capitals, or the whole name even.
And the registration date, yeah?
Yeah, the registration date, which is going to be on the lower left-hand corner of the certified copy on the entry birth certificate when she gets that.
There isn't anything on here that's particularly stands out. Obviously, it's got an NHS number and the hospital number.
Take the hospital, actually, because...
Was it a typed form or a handwritten form?
Typed, Michael.
Is everything typed?
Everything.
Okay. Is there a case number on there, starting with the year of the birth?
I don't see a case number, only the NHS number and the hospital number. That's it, really. That's the only... And obviously, it's got the details of the registrar.
Does it say if it was a stillborn?
Yes, it says live birth.
Live birth.
Yeah, live birth.
You know the birth notification form. What we've already got.
Yeah.
Have you checked it against that to see the different things? What's actually on there?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I'll do.
Has it got the mother's name on there, Fabian?
Yes, it has, Les. Yes, it has.
Right. And there's no boxes on it?
No. Well, that's a good question because it's not a box as such. It's just two parallel lines. It's not actually boxed off. Mm-hmm. And between the two parallel lines, it will have baby one, baby surname, born this date, this time. That's the only thing that's within the parallel lines. If you... I wouldn't. What I'll do is I'll print this off. I'll scrub out whatever, and I'll present it to you guys. Just haven't had the time because I've been.
Good point there. You know what you just said about the names?
Yeah.
Are the names on separate lines?
No.
What's the forename? Is the forenames and the surname together?
Yes. Well, when you say forename, you're saying. As there's no
because the name hasn't the baby hasn't been named yet.
Correct. So they say baby surname. That's what they put. Baby surname. For example, baby Young or baby Carmichael or baby, whatever.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying, which I understand what you're saying there, but you know, for what, you know, when they
it doesn't even look anything like the BNF as we know it, Carl.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. But you know what Michael asked earlier on, was it typed or written?
Everything's typed. There's nothing.
So baby is typed.
Yes, everything is typed. There's nothing here that's written. Not a
so you know where you see date of birth.
Yeah.
Before that, you'll see either DOB or it say date of birth.
It just says born and
right. Okay. And then the date of birth. Yeah. Okay.
And time.
So you know the baby Dixon.
Yep.
Is there anything before that?
Yeah, it just says baby 1.
Okay, so that's baby 1. That'd be the forename. So what they're saying there, that's the surname. So what was baby 2? Did you say?
No, what I was saying was, being that was the hospital, she's had her children before. That's probably why they use the surname, because her surname's Dixon. So her
we'll always do that though. We'll always do that. We'll always put the surname of the mother. And they'll put baby.
Aaron, do you remember when we looked at years ago on the other group, when we were looking at Guthrie cards, and there was that printed record, and it's called something. Mark McCarthy was flashing it around when we were talking about the Guthrie, and that sounds similar because it had the mother's details on it, national health number, and then it had the children listed 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that was called, Aaron?
Sorry, Leslie?
You remember Mark McCarthy and Steve when they were talking about the Guthrie card?
Yeah.
And there's a particular record on the NHS system that sounds like that thing that Fabian's looking at. And it's called something special. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's got stuff like, it's the one that links the human or the living to the numbers in the health system.
Yeah,
I can't remember either.
That sounds like the birth notification form, because the case number, there's a case, we've all got a case number. Right. That's what I'm looking for, the case number.
Okay. There isn't anything like that on here, Carl. I can assure you.
So this is what just makes me want to say in my own mind that, okay, you would fill that out, they'll send it over to the midwife or whoever, and then they will transfer the information onto the birth notification form, and then put the birth notification form through to then get a certified copy of an entry. That's the only thing I'm thinking anyway. But I mean, like, that's the only thing I can go off, because I mean, like,
didn't they have to do that within a set number of hours from the birth in that handbook? They've got to do it quite quickly, haven't they?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. As long as they do the surname and everything else, and they've done that section. Because remember, with the birth notification form, it actually looks like a ledger.
Yeah.
So they've written all the information on the left side, and then that's why I'm asking about the registration date, because the registration stamp should be on there for you registering the Christian name. Because at the moment, you've got a date, which is the date of birth for the surname.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's not been a registration date yet
for the Christian name.
The Christian name.
Right.
So the Christian name is the creditor. At the moment, only the debtor has been born.
Yeah.
Because she's just running around with a surname.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So that's the debtor. Now the Christian name will be the creditor. So when that name comes into existence and materializes, then that has to be registered. So that's the name of the creditor who's going to be getting. That's why they need to get, as Leslie said, they need to get it straight away, because as soon as you're born, money's being put into your account.
Yeah.
Because God gave you the earth, so as soon as you land here, you're getting credited.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see? For when you get older and you can go and live out on the land as you like or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, like, the registration date would be for the Christian name. So that's what I'm trying to establish there. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
There has to be the two, because at the end of the day, again, as I said, when you get this document here, because that says uppercase, lowercase, and it's written in descriptive English text. It's what is it going to say when it comes back on a certified copy of an entry, the birth certificate? It will come back as capitals.
Okay.
As capitals.
This is like that video Romney did. Do you remember when he was saying that the debtor is born on the actual born date? And
this is it.
The registration date's the private person.
This is it.
And I always thought he got that arse about face, but no, I suppose it figures, doesn't it?
Because you always got to be known what family you belong to in the first place.
Yeah.
So you belong to that family.
Yeah.
Do you see, whether it was a slave mentality back or going back to Jesus Christ or going back to the beginning of time. Do you see? It's like, however they made this man-made rule, they want to say, right, they want to capitalize on it, basically. So they're saying the debtor. So,
yeah.
But don't forget that what you're talking about is the information that's been recorded in the public. So that's a public document. So that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
David Smith at the moment. So, and if that's upper lowercase, then as you said, once the name gets registered, so once the parents volunteer the information, then they could, in a sense, capitalize on that, and then they'll take the, you know what I mean, the full name, the first names plus the surname, and that's when they'll create the actual person, so to speak.
Because remember, the child is still.
Or they rename the person.
Yeah.
So the person will be called Baby Smith at the moment, for example. So when they get the first name, Jane Smith.
Yes.
But that's when the actual birth certificate is going to be issued, isn't it?
And the account's going to be created.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's just like, you know, when you go to work and they say, do you have a tax reference number? And you don't have a tax reference. So you're paying like emergency tax. It's like at the moment, because you don't actually have a first name, it's like they're charging the debtor emergency tax in a certain sense. So when you get a name, they can allocate that to that name. And then that credit will build on that account.
Since we're on the subject of birth notification form, I was planning to go to the National Archive place in Kew Gardens, I think it is.
Ah, yeah.
Right. Because I've been there before and I know they hold a lot of stuff, but I thought, just so I don't waste my time, let me just make some inquiries online. I just fancied the trip, to be honest. That's why I was just going to go down there. But I think the inquiry has led me to now close off that the idea of going down there. But I have inquired with the British Library, and the British Library holds millions and millions of microfiche. So I'm going to go down there and see if they have anything. They probably wouldn't, because they're not, as Carl has mentioned, with the 4-part BNF01 form. The British Library wouldn't be one of those holding anything, but I just thought I'd go down there and have a look. And failing the BNF01 form, Carl, how about a statement of truth from your mother?
Perfect.
With 3 witnesses.
No,
I can't notarize it because I've spoken to a notary public. And the notary public that I spoke to says a few years ago, there was so many people was coming to him. He mentioned the Freeman line of thought, and he was signing, hundreds and hundreds of these. And he said to me that, this is a discussion I had the day before yesterday, and he said to me that he was asking some of these people, if any of you, because of the zest that these people had and what their intentions were, he said he was quite happy. He was quite happy to be, notarizing all of these things.
Notarizing what, Fabian?
These people were coming to him with something to do with the Freeman Freeman.
Yeah, that was probably Mark.
Yeah, he said there was so many of them, and what happened was that, as far as he's concerned, not one of them was successful. He said to me, he says, and so the company, or his company, or the company that he works for, this notary, he said that they just stopped doing it now because the feedback wasn't like there was success on that side of things.
No, there won't be.
The notary said this. How does a notary know whether they're successful or not? What does success mean to a notary?
He just said to me he did not get one success feedback from the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that he was signing.
Yeah, but you don't know what they were doing with it after they got
exactly. That's what I said. What were they doing? Yeah. I said because you know you're just gauging what I'm just saying. Do you do this? And then you're just gauging me on the basis of what you've done before. And I said, well, you don't know exactly what I'm, you know, what's in my mind. I'm just asking you, do you do this? And he was just like, you know, it's just not worth. He's just saying to me, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
See, a lot of them know, but they don't want to get involved.
He's had the memo, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's how it sounds to me as well.
You're right. He was called in, he says. He was called into central London for some reason. He was called in, he said, and he didn't go into detail, but, you know, you could just tell by his voice.
A warning shot.
Yeah, whoever wasn't happy.
Wow.
Of course not.
That's what he told me. I got his details here, and he just said, like, you know, I wish somebody would have been. I don't know, Michael. If how would he know? He just told me nobody was successful. But in any event, if we don't find the birth notification form through any of the channels, I'm just thinking a statement of truth. He says, could anyone confirm this? Could anyone confirm this? Because I don't know. But he said, when you're doing a notary public document, it's to do with things abroad, not here in the UK. Is that right?
That's apostille. That's apostille to do with things abroad.
Yeah. Right.
A notary is just a witness of God, because all notaries report to the Archbishop of Canterbury, don't they, in this country?
But Michael, once you've got that power of attorney affidavit notarised, you then do have to get it apostilled to check out that the notary was recognised by this system. So
by that, Leslie?
Well, because I'm just reflecting now on that Canada group, which I am pushing their process, because I figure what Fabian's just said is the right fallback position. If we can't get the original BNF, we will have to go to our mothers, or if they asked, we'll have to use public notice to claim superior authority to administrate the public account.
Yeah? He was saying to me, Les, was saying to me, he wouldn't even do that. When he said, you're just better off doing a statement of truth, and that's it.
Well, they would say that, but affidavit is the highest form, isn't it? Because once you get that sorted, and I don't think we should take advice from them, because they're there just to provide a service at the end of the day. But what they say is once you've got it notarised, you then get it apostilled so that you can verify and prove that the notary that notarised it is a legit one within the system.
Right.
So I've got the form of wording for that, and obviously
notaries do apostilles as well. Then
do what?
What do notaries do apostilles as well?
No, there's an office you send it off to in government that provide apostilles to certify that the signature of the notary is as per the signature of that notary within their system, because they keep records of notaries and their signatures. And you give them a cock and bull story that you need to take this abroad and it needs to be certified from UK perspective as a legit document.
Yes, good shout. Yeah.
I've got the form of wording on this, so if we come to a point where we draw a blank on the original, that's going to be our fallback position.
Fallback, yeah.
And we're pushing forward that way.
Yeah. That's it on the BNF, really. I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah. The only thing I've got to add is when I was, just before I put this DSAR in, I had a chat with the information governance bloke at the trust, and he said if if we cannot find it, we can look to recreate it for you. So that's what I'll push for if they come a blank tomorrow, day after.
The BNF form?
Yeah. He volunteered that. I didn't ask. I just said, what happens if you can't find it? What records have I got? And he says, we can look to recreate it if we find that we haven't got it.
And this was an officer at the trust, did you say?
This was, he works out of St Leonard's in Hackney, and he covers 3 or 4 of the North London hospitals. Okay. He's their information governance manager.
Yeah. I spoke to the data protection officer at the hospital where I was born as well, so it's the same department. Yeah. Well, sorry, Fabian, you're going to say something.
No, that's fine. That's fine, Mike. I was just writing down what Leslie was saying. Okay.
So I reckon by the next meeting we should have a fair few answers on this, and we can then take a decision what we're going to do.
Yeah. Even if you take a copy of the blank birth notification form, what's from the BMNF form, what we've already got, we can take a blank copy of that and say, well, look, can you just fill this out then?
And certify.
This is it, and get it certified by them to say it's a true like a copy of what was in the files. Because
they won't know though, Carl, will they? I mean, they can't prove what was in the. I mean, they can't prove that you were born 40, 50 years ago, can they?
No, but what it is that how all your, what you're looking for, well, they should be able to, because all your files are on record. Your files as well.
Well, Carl, I checked my, well, from an NHS point of view or from a GP point of view, or both?
Yeah.
From a GP point of view?
Just from anybody, really.
Okay.
That's the thing.
I've tried with my GP, and whether they, that was just...
The thing about it, if you're going to the hospital or you're going to the GP, the first things we've got, because I'm starting to ask as well. Every time I go in there, I'm like, well, who are you looking for? Are you looking for the registration, or are you looking for the creditor, the debtor, what? How are you writing a name? Because I'm trying to get that information from them and saying to them, well, look, hold up a minute, you're writing a name in capital letters, and I'm trying to explain that to them. So I'm still on that level, really, where I'm just, so this is the thing, I'm going in there trying to find out information before I actually do anything, because we need them to agree to the certain clauses that we have. And that I read the language of English, and in my knowledge, I know that writing a letter in capital words or whatever is an acronym. So come on, you got to, if you're writing that down and you're changing it, that's why I'm saying to Fabian about if it's Baby Dixon and it's written in uppercase, lowercase, then check with definitely check with the certified copy of an entry birth certificate that the name, what the name will be, because I'm sure it will be in capital letters, and that's when they switch it over into the corporation.
Right.
And that's the problem. Where everything is being done from an implied company perspective. That's what we're in at the moment. We're in an implied company, and we're all operating like that. But we have to, it's like, the funny thing about it, what I was thinking the other day as well, is like, when everybody was saying that, when they had a debt with HMRC, for example, and they went and registered themselves as a company, that debt just went away. Because the Crown is part of the government is the HMRC. We've got to, our information sent to the HMRC. So as soon as the HMRC gets our information, they're already let known and being aware of that, because it's expressed. So they're just going to cut off your name. That's now a company. You don't get charged as a national insurance or tax. Now you're put into the business limited company bracket of that name. That's why all the debts are cleared. But because businesses are part of the government, different businesses, they won't know. So what I was saying to Caroline about, she was writing a letter and she wrote this, I think she was on her 3rd letter process, and they hadn't responded to her. But as soon as she wrote to them as the limited company, they recognized the limited company, because it was a director in a company sending it. It wasn't an invisible person sending it from an implied company, so they could ignore stuff, I believe. That's how I see it. So it's just weird that we have to take we have to really look at the way they're writing our names and what contracts they do have, because it all boils down to contracts. They can't have a contract unless we are operating as a corporation, basically. And that's either implied or expressed. If we run around and become ignorant to us being implied companies and not knowing that and not taking charge of that company to do business with, then, you know, that's our own fault in a certain sense. Yeah. That's how I'm looking at it now, because it's like Monopoly. You get on the Monopoly board, you're at the start gate. Because we're dormant, we can stay there, so we don't have to go anywhere, you know. But as soon as we start, we're on the board. We can come off at any time and pause at any time. You see, we can stop at any time, but we have to be in control of the business. They're not going to keep doing it for us. They're mothering us.
Yeah.
You see, so if they're mothering us, they're saying, right, you're getting this, and they're just throwing us scraps.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because we're not being adult enough to take responsibility for ourselves and do whatever. But the thing about, as I say, I'm saying to people, don't do anything. Keep doing what we're doing. Because since through all of this, I still do what I do. I still pay a bit, whatever, if I'm on my bike, because I don't even own my bike. My sister owns my bike. But if I get a ticket for her, I'll challenge it and I'll do what the process. I'll go and see whoever I need to go and see. That was then. Since then, I don't really get tickets. And if I do, I just send them back and return to sender. Wrong addressee. So, and that just cancels it out. But it's, I don't know, we just got to ask the questions while we're not in any trouble with anybody and nobody's coming after us. We should go after them. Because we're saying to them now, for example, okay, look, before I give you any more money, this company is now in charge of anything what's going on. So if we're the company now, the company is looking for the contracts because they've been appointed to take over whatever myself, say if I've got a debt, I'm appointing this company now to look after the debt for me. So now I'm appointing my own limited company and there's no contracts with that limit. And the limited company wants to see contracts before it starts paying money out because it don't know who's got contract with this person. And this person's an implied person. So they don't have contracts. So we're now calling in the contract because we're directors behind a limited company who can do business legally and have it gone to court to say, well, hold up a minute, there's no contracts. You show me the contract because I'm paying the debt on that contract. If you don't give me a contract to see that there was a contract made in the first place, I can't pay the debt. I'm a limited company now. My company.
If there's an agreement with the legal fiction though, Cole, and if the company's now assuming the responsibility and liability of the legal fiction, then they don't need to have a contract between the company and the so-called creditor. You only need to have, but the creditor only needs to produce the agreement with the legal fiction, don't they?
Yeah, but the legal fiction is the implied company.
Well, but I'm using the legal fiction implied company. I'm saying legal fiction company, meaning the limited company.
No. See,
I'm saying that. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
I'm saying that, but in order to differentiate, rather than having to.
Sure. No. Sure. I hear what you're saying.
Too many words. Yeah.
Because you've got. Well, as you're saying, you've got the limited company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the agreement, what was made between their company, for example, and then this legal entity. But the legal entity can only be a company. So it had to be an implied company because the other company cannot do contracts with a man or a woman. It can only do contract with another company. So that legal entity they made you was the implied company, but you wasn't the director or the owner of that implied company, whether you signed it or not. You only signed it because you believed it was the man or woman signing it. And there was an agreement between another man or a woman with who was another director or someone, but you didn't know you was meant to be the director of this implied company because it hadn't been registered. That's the thing. So the company is doing a contract with another company that's not even registered. Now you come along and register your company, they get afraid because there was no contract to do with in the first place. That's the thing. So when we're looked at in the first place, it was non-disclosure on our behalf because they didn't give us full disclosure, because they wasn't telling us that they was doing, it was a company doing business with us as an implied company. If they would have told us that in the first place, we would have said, well, hold up a minute. So who's the man and woman I'm actually doing the contract with? And I want their signature on a piece of paper with my signature. That means it's a bilateral contract and both parties have signed. Because all you're doing, you're taking a man or a woman and a man or a woman, and you're allowing them to be managers of the company, and they're signing on behalf of the company. That's what they're doing. But what's happened is that you are seen as the company already. There's no man or woman in that company. And then there's a director over here. He's got this company. He's sending the company after your company. He's not signing on behalf, but he's letting you sign. So you're the only one what's signing the agreement, which is a unilateral agreement.
The thing is it a company or is it a trust?
What? Who?
The legal fiction name. Because.
Well, that's the question we're asking. Because we're asking, why are they writing the name down in capital letters when they're addressing everything in the legal sense?
Yeah.
Because it only happens in the legal.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in the lawful side.
That's right.
In the law, they write to you in uppercase and lowercase, but what they're doing, they're sending you a mail and they're saying, look, do you want to do a deal?
See this? Yeah.
Do you see? But when you do a deal, they're making you do the deal with a company, and then they're changing your name into a company name, which is the capital letter name, because your name started out in uppercase and lowercase. This is the problem. This is the problem I see anyway, and I'm always going to come back to that point. It's just, who was the contract made with first? Because if there was a director in the shoes of British Gas, for example, now there you got the director under British Gas. Now, British Gas is the one what's doing the contract, not the director. British Gas is doing the contract, not the director. So when British Gas does a contract with John Henry Doe, and the capital letters, there's two companies there, but there's no director underneath John Henry Doe, because John Henry Doe is the man, but they turned John Henry Doe into an implied company. So British Gas can do a company, and then this director over here for British Gas doesn't even have to get involved. They can change the directors each year or each term to a different director. They've done that at DVLA. Oliver Morley was a director, CEO. Now it's gone to Julia Leonard or whatever her name is. It'll probably change again next year or in April to another director. So none of these directors within that year term will get anything coming back to them. This is how companies are running. This is we should take a really good look at what they're doing, because we should be running our companies like that.
But that's on the presumption that it is corporate rather than trust. Because it could be that British Gas and every other so-called company are performing as agents of trustees, i.e. the Treasury.
Even if it is a trust, or even if we've got them either side, because one, as we said in previous meetings, we can break the trust.
Yeah.
And as Carl's saying there, who was the director of the implied company? We had no knowledge of it. There was no disclosure. So, either way, following their format, we've surely. It's clear as day to me, as it is to the rest of you. But it's what they may do to manoeuvre around their own shit, really.
Well, it's two horns of a dilemma for them. They've got to
yes,
on
absolutely,
one another, haven't they? Can I just nip back and share something with you, Fabian, just to check that? Would anyone mind? It's just to do with that form that Fabian's got.
Yeah.
Would that be all right?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. This is from. Oh, you can't see it. Right, can you see that?
It's not. It's just loading up at the moment. Not. Yes, come on now.
Right. This CHI number, Community Health Index. Now, is there anything on that form that's got a CHI number?
No.
Okay. Because it uniquely identifies a person on the index, which is a population register.
Yeah, that's just for Scotland, Leslie.
But I reckon it'd be the same everywhere else, wouldn't it, Lauren?
No, because in England, you guys are still on the NHS number system.
Ah. So they don't have CHIs in England?
They have that in Sweden. They have that in Sweden, Les, because my children, it's from the population control index. They have it on their birth certificate, so to speak.
And
that's
called
what you're mentioning. Sorry?
Right. Is it called a CHI in Sweden?
No, they don't call it a CHI, but because it's got population register, the title of that document is like a population index type thing.
Okay.
But as Laurie said,
like it's the same as our NHS number.
Oh, okay, cool.
For some reason in Scotland, they've hidden in the NHS number, and they've created a new number called a CHI number.
Right.
And I only know this because my dad was put on the vulnerable persons list, you know, at the beginning of the stuff. And so what had happened is they put his CHI number, his name and his address on all the documents, which meant that they'd mixed identifiable data and like anonymized, pseudonymized, however that word is, data on the same paperwork.
Right.
So he was writing saying that that's a data breach because now you've put the three pieces of data together and it's no longer unidentifiable. It's now obvious who I am in terms of the data, and there was medical file data, so what his condition was.
Okay.
And so that's why I found out what this CHI number is all about, and it's something that they started 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
And when my dad passed away, when I had to register the death so I could do the funeral, they wanted the NHS number, and they even said to me at the registrar office, "Oh, you won't have that. You'll just have the CHI number."
Right.
They said They said that's hidden now. That's hidden data now. They actually said this to me on the phone. That's hidden data now.
Wow. Okay.
So when I asked what that meant, she said it doesn't matter, and she wouldn't answer my question. But that's all she would say.
Fair dues. So.
Yeah, there's definitely no CHI number on here. There's
No. And there's no 9-digit number involving the date of birth, and then no. Okay.
26.
But there's in the case number there's an 8-digit number.
Right.
Yeah, there's no case number on this either.
I mean, like the only thing I would say really is mainly just questioning people, going back to the root of certain things. I was just about to say about Caroline, but I think she's gone. I mean, like just with companies, if you like the mortgage company, go back, now she's done certain things here, go back and ask the mortgage company to provide the contract, because you have now been appointed the limited company to take care of the debt. But you need the contract to see, to prove that, all right, I should be paying this money. Do you see? Because a limited company can do that. You can't, you would have a legal standing, 2 limited companies. Do you see?
Yeah.
But if this woman appoints this limited company to look after her debts, no one else has a say with that, because she's drawn up an agreement between her and the limited company.
Yeah, but wouldn't we need an assignment of consent form first?
Yeah, but that's what you're doing. You're doing that in the private between yourself, really. Because if I own my own limited company and then I've got this under my implied name, I can write under the trust, I can write that from the trust, appoint it to the limited company. Now the limited company is in charge of it. And that's basic. And then you can get 2 witnesses to sign it and date it as well, to your friends, to witness that, yeah, it was signed in their presence, and that's it. And you just sign it for both companies, whether you're signing it on behalf of the trust and you're signing it as the director on behalf of the limited company.
So the deed of assignment would be between the legal fiction and the company director.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the woman.
The woman.
The woman.
Okay.
Because the thing about it, the woman went to the mortgage company to get a contract.
Yeah,
or to get a loan.
They only dealt with her as a legal fiction, didn't they?
There you go. So, but that's the problem, because she went to them as a woman. They wrote her down and switched her and changed her into a legal fiction. Do you see? Because they put her name in capital letters on the contract. They didn't put her name down in uppercase and lowercase.
But she would have used identifying documents like driving license or what have you to prove her identity. So she would have, so they can wash their hands and say, you came to me as a legal person.
Certainly, but she was unaware of that. That's why I was chasing the birth notification form.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, if we can't get the birth notification form, then anybody now who steps forward to ask us for any identification, we can then say, well, okay, I will give you identification, but I need for you to give me a warrant or some note from your judge or whatever, or solicitor, to allow me to go to the hospital and get my birth notification form, and I'll give you some proof who I am.
Yeah.
There's the argument. Because I can't give you the certified copy of an entry.
Yeah.
Now I know what it is, and now I know what the document says on it. I'm then incriminating myself.
Yeah.
I'm not here to incriminate myself. If I know that I'm not a director of an implied company, I'm going to state that. I'm going to say, look, I don't own that company. I own this company, but I don't own that company. And the only reason I say it's a company, this ain't fact, but the only reason I say it's a company is because one, it's doing business, and two, the name's written in capital letters. Now, if you can provide me with what the capital letter word system is you're using, then it's still not a language. So we'll have to establish what language you're using first of all. Are you using English or sign language? Do you see, it will always revert back to that, because the first port of call when any man or woman went to go and get a contract, whether it was a mortgage or a bank account or a driving license, a passport or whatever, they went with their birth certificate. But their birth certificate was a certified copy of an entry into what we don't know.
Yeah.
So that then the name on my one is written in capital letters. But why is that? It's not an acronym. So that's what I'm questioning now. So and it even tells us, it warns us, it's not a form of identification.
Yeah.
So how can we use it? And they're adamant for a passport or a driving license now. But that's just that's just a second layer.
The thing is, going back to what Leslie said earlier, if the legal fiction is a trust, then it is okay for them to put the details of the trust in all caps, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that would be legitimate, so to speak. So that would be, so I mean, they could say, oh yes, it's written in English and that's the trust. Of course, I won't say the trust, but if it is the trust, then but then someone's a trustee and the trustee is going to be responsible for it.
That's it. If it is a trust, then it's a trust. It's still not a man or a woman. That's what I'm trying to get to. Is it a man or a woman? No, it's not. It's something else. What is it?
Yeah.
That's all. And I'm saying, look, I can't be that something else if I don't know what it is. Because I'm trying to ask them the question, you're writing it this way. I'm looking at the language in what you're writing with and how you're writing it, whether you're speaking it, whether you're writing it, whether you're reading it. There's only two languages you can see it as. I don't speak one of them. I speak the other. I don't speak sign language. I speak English. But in my understanding of the English language, just reading a couple books shows me that the only way the name can be written as capitals is as an acronym. So please explain to me what each letter means, because you are the ones as a company writing it down. I didn't write it like that because I know how to write English, uppercase, lowercase. I didn't write it down like that. So please provide me with how you get to write that down. What are you using as a definition for that, and the way of writing that. Is it a language? Is it a company title? Is it legalese? I don't know. It's foreign to me, but nobody's asking that. I have asked that question. I think Caroline was saying that Ashley did send a letter, and he was asking all them questions, and they just dropped it and just said, just leave that guy alone or something. I don't know. But yeah, she said he tried something. But again, it'll always come back to that. It'll always come back to the name. Mm. And with the legal entity, the legal entity is your Christian name and surname. So as soon as they see your whatever ID you want to give over, you're actually giving over the legal name, because you're giving them the Christian name and the surname, which is the legal name. Mm. We should just be giving them our first name, our Christian name, that's it. But they won't accept that only.
If you're asking those questions then, Cole, like what language is it written in? Are you writing as the living man, woman? Or are you writing as the director of the limited company? Or are you writing as the implied corporation? Who are you actually writing as?
You're writing as the man. If I'm asking a question, if I'm going to get into business with Leslie, for example, and Leslie has a company, and Leslie sends me a bill, for example, I'm saying to Leslie, okay, hello, Leslie, who are you? Do you know what I mean? I don't know Leslie. I just see a company name called hello.com or whatever, and it's a company name. Mm. But Leslie seems to be the managing director or whatever. So I'm trying to find out, well, who are you? I mean, like, this letter has come through my letterbox. The thing about it, yes, it's written down as the name which is living here as a man, but you've written it down in capital letters, which is a company. There's a company here. You don't even need to say a man. You can just say, sorry, you wrote this letter, but are you relating to the limited company? Because there's only a limited company here by that name. You don't even recognize it as a man or a woman. You recognize it as a limited company. Yeah. You never recognize it as a man or a woman, because they're never writing to a man or a woman. They're always going to be writing to a company. Yeah.
Or a trustee.
There you go. So they're going to write it down in the way that they have control over from the system, and that's from your certified copy of an entry or your passport or your driving license, because you are the one who's giving over that knowledge to them to say that's who you are agreeing to be. Yeah. You don't have to agree to be that. You know, you could say, yes, I own that limited company, but the limited company is actually written down on the form. You've written the name down all in capital letters, yeah. All right, you've missed out the middle name, but you've written the first name and you've written the surname. Yes, that's the name of the limited company, but there's a middle name in there as well, and there's limited on the end. There's no man or woman named that. So who are they looking for? That's the thing.
Yo, sorry guys.
No, that's okay.
Boy, I completely forgot.
No, that's cool. No, that's cool, man.
I was thinking,
You're right.
Yeah. I'm also thinking that through then, Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Les.
In order for you to...
Easy, Fabian. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, Karen.
In order for us to pose the questions then, as the living man, woman, so of course we'll have to sign it appropriately, but if there is the council tax, for example, so the council are providing, but they're charging you for the so-called services that they believe that they're obviously providing, yeah?
Who's charging you?
Huh?
Who's charging you?
And the council.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I'm saying you, but they're charging an entity.
No, I know.
At your address.
I know, but the thing about it, what I'm trying to get to is that how we can't keep saying the council. We need to put a name to this.
But what names?
I know they have, but this is what I'm saying. So when I'm saying go to it, all right. I know we're talking about the council, but Just talk about, like, let's look at it as a company. Who is the director of the company? Write to that one and ask them who are they looking for, because he's the principal or she's the principal. Everybody else is just the agent. We need.
Oh, right, okay, but you didn't say that a bit earlier. So now you're saying write to the living man or woman who's responsible for that company.
There you go.
And then you write from you as a living man, woman. Right, got you.
So you're writing to the director of their company.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're the one who's allowing the company to do this kind of business.
Mm.
If you're the director of your company and you haven't negotiated a contract with him or her to do this kind of business, for the two companies to do the business, you haven't discussed an agreement with them and have a contract with them as directors. You see, they've got this agreement signed by you as a man, yes, but they've got it signed by you as a man to behave as this implied company, which you didn't know about. But now we do know about it, that it's either a company, it's either English acronym, it's either legalese, or it's either sign language. We know that it's one of these things now, but they won't say what it is. So if we ask the questions and we put it forward to them before we even we don't even have to be in any arguments with them or any disagreements with them or anything at the moment. We can just go forward and ask them, DVLA, we can ask them, look, why have I got a license? Am I a worker for you, your agency? And if I am, are you paying me? And what's my wage? Because you're saying this is a driving license. I know that a driver is someone who's employed. Now, if you're an agency and a vehicle, what is a vehicle? Please explain to me what a vehicle is, because I travel around in a car. On your tax list, you write petrol car. Why don't you write vehicle as a tax class? All these questions, they should be answering. If they can't answer these questions, then sorry, why am I even in conversation with you? You know, you're saying to me, this is the DVLA, the Driver Vehicle Licensing Agency. They're a licensing agency. An agency is somebody who pays somebody to go work for them. If I get stopped by the police asks me, am I the driver of the vehicle? There's their language again. They're saying I'm a driver. A driver is one who's employed. I'm not employed by the DVLA. No, I'm traveling, going about my way. But they will try and twist you and pull you into that. It's all about their language. And their language is all written in capital letters. So we have to address that first. What language are you using? Because if you're using different language to me, then you're an imposter, because I'm an English. There's a war going on and it's with an English. I don't know who the imposter is, but they're using a foreign language against me. That's my enemy in a certain respect. That's how they would see it. You see? And that's what they're doing to us with our own language.
Carl?
Yes.
Sorry, I was going to ask if there's anyone that's any information on passport or driver's license.
No, I mean, like, again, same thing. Caroline was saying the same thing. It's like, if anybody, I mean, like, I've written a couple of basic outlines of a list of questions that we should be really asking. And whatever letter people want to write, whether they want to write it to the DVLA, whether they want to write it to the passport, whether they want to write it to the hospital, all of them questions, majority of them questions should be in that letter, what you're writing, whoever's writing a letter asking for what they want. Because we need them to answer these questions or give us some answers. Because the answers that they're giving us will feed us into the next step on what we should do. If we don't know the answers, what they're giving us, we don't really know what avenue to take, because we're not getting any answers. And that's the problem. They don't want to give us any answers, because if they do give us any answers, they might be letting the cat out of the bag, as they say.
According to that document that I think it was Leslie or Michael put up the other week, regarding the passport application form.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I spoke to. Remember, I told you there's a woman dealing with my case and my children and whatever.
Yeah.
Those letters that we were inquiring about, they come back and said that it's the person I'm dealing with, they don't know what those letters mean. So I says, well, take it above, go above yourself, go above your station. If you don't know, give them someone that does know.
Yeah.
And be honest, they haven't come back with anything concrete.
This is why, again, I say, let's address the directors, because you are the director of your company. The only person you should be speaking to is the director of the other company that wants to do business with your company.
Mm.
You know, I'm not going to talk to Tom, Dick, and Harry if I want to have a contract with Fred, and it's Fred's company. I'm not going to talk to Tom, Dick, and Harry. I'm talking to Fred.
I did ask for the CEO or whatever, director.
Well, look up their name on Companies House. Look up the company name on Companies House. Their name and their director, their address, everything else will be there. So you look up who is the director on Companies House at that time, and then write to that person who is on Companies House. Caroline did the same thing. She looked up the company, she saw there was 2 directors. She wrote to the letter to the director, but addressed both directors.
Mm-hmm.
You see, she said, if this isn't your matter, then please forward it on to your partner director, who is the second director in charge.
There's someone called Abby Tierney, who's Director General of the Passport Office.
You see, so you write to him and you ask him what the hell's going on with this language business. This is the thing about it. We need to ask them, why are they allowing it as the director of the company? Why are they allowing this to happen and take place in the company? It's on their head because they're allowing it to happen. Nobody else is, because it's like you are the director of your company. That means you are the king of your company. If you're the king of your company, you say what goes. Now, if you know that there is a deception in whatever going on, you are going to be the king of that country or that company to decide whether to change it or not. Now, if they're going to write back to us and say, well, no, we ain't going to change it, then hold up, well, what are you doing then? So what language are you using? What language are you using to write the name down in the passport, for example? Because you're writing the name in capital letters. What is that language you're using? We're asking the director of the passport office them questions. He's allowing it to happen. He's the director. He should be able to bring that up and discuss that with the other board of directors, if there's any, because his name's down there. So we should address it. If I'm going to Nikki's company, I'm going to go and address Nikki as the director, because he's the director. I'm not going to go to write to Tom, Dick, and Harry at blah, 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 Limited. I'm going to write to Nikki at Limited, because he's the director. That's what I'm saying. We need to go for the juggler, because they're sending Tom, Dick, and Harry after us. And they can send Tom, Dick, and Harry off all day, but it's Fred that's sending them. And Fred,
no, I agree with you, Carl. You have to. We're just going to be going round in circles with people that may not even understand.
This is it.
Angle of line we're coming from. This is what the guy said to.
So if we write letters to the director directly and address them, the thing about it, again, when you're writing a letter, always just get the director's name, put the director first, and then underneath that, you can put the director, and then underneath that, you can put whatever. Never put any title or anything else with his name or her name. Just put their name. And then it's the way we write the letters as well, because we're addressing them. That's it, the man or the woman. Caroline did that to one of the guys and said, look, because she wrote to the director, looked up the company, wrote to the director and said, look, Mr. Director, do you have a contract with this limited company? And the director said, no, they don't. So they backed off. Cool, game over. They don't have a contract with the limited company. So she wrote to the her director wrote to him as his director on the company what was trying to get something, and they wrote back and say no, but they recognized that it was a company that was writing to them. They didn't recognize it when she was writing.
When you say they said no as what?
Yeah, no, they don't have any contracts with the limited company, and her name was written in full as the limited company, but they don't have contracts with that limited company.
What about the legal fiction?
No, but that's the thing about it. Who is the legal fiction? Because if the legal fiction is also written as the full capital letter name, but it doesn't have limited on the end of it, who are they looking for? Because they can't explain what language, or is that a corporation title, or is that sign language, an acronym, or legalese? What are they using to write that name? Because when I look at this envelope, it says the company name because it's all in capital letters. The only difference is it doesn't have limited on the end. So I can't accept that as a company letter because it doesn't address the company. It addresses a company, but it's not. What company is it? Is it a LLP? Is it a PLC? Is it limited? It should state what company it is at the end of the name.
Yeah, you're going to only have to have that with the director, because I just trying to speak to anyone else, they won't even comprehend where you're coming from. To be honest. I've done that already. They said, we are currently unable to advise you the meaning of the letters on the application form. Only people who have some form of British nationality can apply for British passports. Because I queried, can a company apply for a passport? So I'm talking to a nobody basically, and because he obviously doesn't know the angle I'm coming from, Carl.
Okay.
Obviously. And so his reply was only people can apply, because if a company was to apply for a passport, it's open for abuse between its staff.
Okay, did you get his name, for example?
Yeah, G. Duffy, Customer Services Management Team.
Okay, so if you write back to Duffy, if you write back to Duffy, right, and you say to him, look, you say, Duffy, you say that persons can only have a passport. I totally agree with you. Yes, persons can have a passport. Jeff, your mic.
Bongo, turn your mic off.
Yes. Do me for the scene. Yeah, so Carl.
Yes,
I did write back to him, and
but the thing about it, see, this is the problem we're getting into, is that how, yes, they're writing to us and saying to us this, there's a person, yes, okay, but the thing about it, I know that the person, what you're writing down, is a capital letter worded person. Now, in my eyes, that can either mean one of four things. Are you writing it down as an implied company? Because if you are, then the whole world already has a company passport.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what's the difference from me being the owner of that company and having that as a limited company, and now it's a limited company passport and it's the same name as me?
As you said, Carl, that's got to be done with the director. These people probably won't even understand what.
No, but the thing about it, if these people don't understand and we're writing back to them and we're explaining it in clean, plain English, what anybody, like a 10-year-old, could read a letter and understand it. If you wrote back to Duffy, he would read that letter and think to himself, yeah, and probably question himself. And then go and question them. And then we write to them as well.
I said, take it upstairs, please, Duffy.
This is it.
Obviously.
This is above his pay grade.
Yeah, exactly.
I found some numbers for the HM Passport Office. Can I share it?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, say that again?
I found there's two companies out of Eccleston Square called HM Passport Office. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So these two, Eccleston Square, which is where that woman, Abby Tierney, hangs out. So they've got two active companies with different numbers there.
Wow.
You see?
But when you go into any of them, there's no details as to who the...
Wow.
But look, nothing.
See, that's company check. Have you checked Company's House?
No. Shall I do that now?
Yeah, check Company's House, because there should be on Company's House. They have to,
Give
unless they
details,
made
innit?
it private and paid for it like that, because that's company check.
Often I find companies on Company Check that are not listed on Company's House.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah, totally, because they could be set up anywhere.
yeah. No, it don't look like it's there.
You see, what's that? Because you got passport capital. No, you see, so
No, do HMPO, Les.
Okay.
No. You see, so
Now do it all separate. Her Majesty's Passport Office, all separate.
Ooh,
Commissioners of Her Majesty's Treasury,
Why would that come up?
LLP designated member.
and they've got nothing else on it. No, that's interesting, isn't it?
UK.
But you were
No, it
looking for
only
something
means it's not
different. Why
registered
would
at
it-
Company's House.
What was that?
It only means it's not registered at Company's House.
It's not it could be registered. It could be a company could be registered. They might be even registered on a Company's House over Isle of Man or something like that. What we won't even know about.
Yeah.
But it's good that you found a company check. That's a good one. Do you see?
Yeah.
A
So,
company check.
I'd like to know what those numbers are, though, because
Yeah,
they both had registered company numbers. Yeah.
yeah,
Can't we do a global company check?
yeah. You can probably
I don't know what you'd use for that. There's so look, that's the company number, but there's no results on Company's House.
I'll put a 0 in front of it, Leslie, and see whether that makes a difference.
No,
No.
Yeah.
they hide them.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
So, yeah. But we've got, so that's worth asking a question, isn't it?
Of course it is. Of course it is. Because if that's the passport office, then who's
What's that there?
They know that.
HM Passport Office, 101 Old Street. Go down, go
I mean,
there.
all this is
Yeah.
fraud, you know, that they're doing.
Of course.
You see,
It's fraud by misrepresentation. They're doing all kind of things here.
of course, this is what I'm talking about. That's why we've got to ask them, who
you don't know
are
who you're
you?
dealing with, do you? You don't know who you're dealing with.
Who are you, man? That's it. Who are
So who are
you?
you giving your information to?
There you go.
Yeah. Well,
Because,
it's
think about, because remember, it's they only want to get your name and they want to turn it into that account, which is a company, which is a non-existing company. If we see on here, look, they're hiding everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, see, you've even got, look, Isle of Man Government Passport Office. Non-limited business. Mrs. Annie Taylor. Mrs. Annie Taylor. She's executive officer. So at least then we're getting something like that.
Are you a member of Company
look.
Check, Leslie?
What's their address there? Lime.
Go on it. It's free.
Okay.
Companycheck.co.uk.
If you go back to the top of that there, Liz, and then see Mr. Yeah, click on that one a sec. And then who's the director in there? Matthew Graham Peter and Ruth Catherine Taylor. Who was the other one? It was Annie, wasn't it?
Annie's the one we're looking for.
All right, okay. Because sometimes they'll go like that.
Yeah.
It's like when you looked up Matt Hancock or Theresa May, they'll have their office and then they'll be under their office of director or whatever. It's crazy, but yeah.
But look, I mean, they've got to answer to this because it is Section 3 of the Fraud Act to conceal this data.
Exactly.
And of course, Company's House take no liability for anything entered on there, so they wash their hands of it.
You see.
But yeah, I reckon it's worth
Who's the director of Company's House?
What's that?
Who's the director of Company's House?
That's an interesting one. Let's
see?
have a look.
Yeah,
Oh, it's what's his name?
Boris?
No. The well known. The guy from the bank. The guy from the Queen's Bank.
Here we go. Oh, it's got quite a few, look. They're all in Wales, though. Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Isn't it the guy from what's the Queen's Bank called again?
Coots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Isn't it the guy from Coots? We've done this a few weeks back, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah, he was the director of Company's
What
House.
was that?
Seriously,
Yeah, we done it a few weeks back, didn't we?
I don't remember that.
that
What was
probably
that?
makes sense. That probably makes sense then.
Yeah, the guy from the guy who's
Because if he's one of the Queen's banks, and if they're part of the Treasury, and they act as a in-betweener between the Treasury and the man.
Yeah,
Because they're the bank of the England. They're the bank of the land of the King and Queen, because it's the line of the Scottish king.
the Scottish rights.
Yeah, because you've got the Royal Bank of Scotland, which came down from Scotland with James I, which was James VI of Scotland. But he brought down it was the kingship of Scotland and it was James I what started it in England. So they brought down the Royal Bank of Scotland. The Royal Bank of Scotland, Coots is a part of the Royal Bank of Scotland, and that's what the Queen banks with. She doesn't bank with the Bank of England, because the Bank of England is run by the Rothschilds.
Okay, so who's the director of the Bank of Scotland?
The Royal Bank of Scotland.
Yeah.
The Royal Bank of Scotland would be, I'm not sure, but that would be because, yeah.
So Tim, what's that? Kathy who?
So you look at all these people, man. Different. And they change directors every year. If you check the dates, when they was so from 6, and they've got all their details.
Yeah, it's like a yearly presidential.
This is it. But that's it. This is what they do. So they're not, everything what's being done has to be accounted for. So who was in charge at that time? So you go and drag that person up out their bed that one evening when they're sitting down with their hot chocolate. And they get dragged up, and you because this is why we have to address the directors now, because it's the date and time stamp what could always come back to this, and we can say, yeah, well, look, you was registered on Company's House at this time, and you was directing this company. So if you didn't know how to direct the company and you were illiterate at the time, how comes you as an illiterate person can get to run a company?
Well, look at the company number there. It's prefixed with SC.
Yeah.
This is it.
I'm assuming that's Scotland.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
We die and get wrecked by the directors. Wow.
It's crazy.
And also, I noticed that the senior executive in company check for the passport office, it's an Anne Donald. It's not Abby Tierney.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, who?
Say that again, Michael. Who? What name did you have there for the?
Ms. Anne Donald, ANN.
Who's the senior? What? Sorry.
Let me just say, position manager, but she's in the senior executive tab of the passport off. Oh, hang on, which one did I choose? It's the.
Sometimes it's good just to do.
Yeah, there. It'd be interesting to see who the other one is, Leslie. For
the other one's got no one recorded for that other Eccleston.
What are the HM passport office?
This one here.
I bet it might be someone like Priti Patel.
God, you're just something else. There's something else, man.
But somebody has to be registered there. The fact it's a registered corporation with a different number.
This is it.
And it's active.
That's it.
So what game are they playing at? No, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coming after people, say you must have a passport. Who the hell are you? Who's talking to me? Who's responsible for that corporation?
The one. This is what I'm saying. They don't want to be held responsible and liable for the shenanigans.
Oh, there's the next one there.
In a company. Look, all right. They give you. Who's Right Honourable Hazel Blaze? Who's she?
Hazel Blade.
Blaze. No, but I'm just saying, she's got a title there. So now she's going under her title. So it'd just be Hazel Blaze.
Here she is.
Yeah.
Former British Labour Party politician.
So that's Hazel Ann Blaze.
Well, that's what comes up under Right Honourable Hazel Blaze.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Because again, now these are the people we should be writing to if they are certain people under certain things. Because if they're in position.
Oh, look at that. She didn't pay her 13 grand in capital gains tax when she sold her second home.
Yeah, but what happened to her? Nothing.
They try and make them look human.
Should you have a look at her?
No, they try and make them look human. That's the thing. They do them things to say, okay, yeah, she messed up there. She's just like anybody else.
Yeah.
Like anybody else, man. Problem.
So what's she doing now? Because it says that she was a former Labour minister.
She's probably still somewhere in politics. You know how they get down. They don't never really leave it. It's too lucrative for them.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is, but they need to say who she is.
She's into extreme.
Well, what else does it say about her? Didn't she write a book?
I don't know. She's got an unofficial website.
She got an unofficial
Yeah.
biography. There you go.
So who's it actually saying on Wikipedia who is the passport CEO or whoever? Because usually when you put in the passport office in Google or whatever, it come up and it say Wikipedia, and then you see, and then it down on the right hand side, it'll tell you who. Yeah, just check that one there, the Wikipedia one there, and then on the right hand side, go down. Okay, so okay, you can't see on the right hand side, can you? I'm going to move this over. Okay, so yeah, here. So Child Agency, General Register Office for England and Wales, website, government agents.
Oh no, it says Minister Kevin Foster.
Abby Tierney.
Ah, yeah, the executive. Okay.
Director General is Abby Tierney. So this is the one, and the minister. So you can write to the minister and Abby Tierney and ask them what the hell's going on. Do you see? We address these people because they're the ones in charge of the. If they're allowing the name to be written down as capital letters, what language are they writing the name and allowing to be used?
The thing is, Carl, we don't know who you're writing to. So there's this HM Passport Office, and that's different to what's in the company check. So the company check actually has a number. In Wikipedia, HM Passport Office doesn't have it. So we don't. And yet the person who you're writing to is going to be different as well. So
totally. But if we got an application form to go and get a passport, that application form would have an address on it. Then we'll look up that address on Companies House with the application form heading, title, whatever the application form is. Look up that on Companies House or Company Check, find out who that is. Then write to that, because that's the what. If I'm getting an application form from the post office, you know, and I can do it through the post office, then that's the name and the address of the post office people where it's being sent to. Whether it's the Home Office, whether I don't know what office it is. I know I just go to the post office, pick up a form, but I don't really read it. Well, that was way back when. I don't really read it. I just say, all right, yeah, my name, my address, blah blah blah. I need a passport. Give them my picture, done. Send it off. Pay a little change, and they send it back a couple of weeks later. Do you know what I mean? That's all we do. But now we know there's more of it and into it. I think we're doing more detective work, investigative work. It's like it comes Pink Panther, in it.
It is.
It is totally. The thing about it, all we're doing is trying to find out the truth.
Yeah.
That's all. If somebody's going to try and stop me from finding out the truth, then there's something about the truth we should be knowing.
I mean, they've got to start to put their addresses on, you know, because if you actually try to do an online passport application, there's nothing about where it goes.
There you go.
Who's responsible for it? Nothing at all.
Yeah, you've got no kind of tracking process.
Accountability. There's no accountability
contact
whatsoever.
No contact. They don't want us to have contact, only with a machine, man.
Yeah, I mean, straight away we can't even apply for a passport. The first question is, do you live in the UK? Yes or no. If you say no, it then asks for the country or territory. But England isn't down there.
You see. But if you say no, that's what I mean. You don't live in United Kingdom.
Exactly, we live in England.
Yeah.
But England doesn't appear in the list.
Yeah, that's okay. You leave it blank. And this is what I keep saying, that we need to go down there and face to face if we're going to get a passport. Because we can only talk to them. They don't know what we're talking about. And as Fabian said, well, you need to go get your supervisor. If the supervisor don't know, you need to go get your manager. If the manager don't know, you need to go and get your legal team. You know what I mean? Because
none of them know, you know, that was it Fabian talking to that chap that had worked there 30 years and not even noticed the codes?
Oh no, it's me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
This is it.
So they're so siloed, aren't they?
Of course. They split everything into. You see when you're watching them films and you see them in the office and they're little compartmentalized. That's like one office and another office and another, and none of them know what each office does.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't talk about their business to each other.
It's in the name when you say compartmental lies.
This is it. Compartmentalized. That's it.
It's just getting down there, Carl, really. I mean, with all this nonsense going on,
that's it.
You know, they probably would have a backlog. You've got a book. You've got to probably book.
Of course. That's what I'm saying. Now is just a time just to really kind of like just speak about it, really, and just understand what we are all. I'm trying to really talk to you guys to see everything I'm saying. Does that make sense? Because if you was the authority and I was trying to talk to you, would you understand what I was saying to you if you was the authority person?
Probably not.
No, that's what I'm saying. So again, no, but with a basic understanding of explanation, you could go and talk to, that's what I'm saying, go and talk to your friend. And then say to your friend, can I just ask you this about this capital letter word? And just ask them and just say, look, what are you reading that as? And do you know that if you're reading that as English, in the whole of the English language, that can only be seen as an acronym. So what does it stand for? If you just do that with a friend, you get to find out, and they ask you, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then you answer them. So you get used to talking to them on a general level where you can get to explain it to them. That's what I'm trying to do as well. I'm trying to talk to it as very general and public and plain as I can to other people. So when I do talk to the authority about it, then I'm talking to it in a very, very simple explanatory way. A 10-year-old could understand it. So why can't you understand it if you was a big man or woman?
That's if we're into educating those people, because I don't think we'll get any result by talking to the lower echelons.
Yeah.
We have to educate them, because they're the one. Because the thing about it, it's like we're saying, look, I'm your friend.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you this information, I'm only telling you this information as your friend because I don't want to get you into trouble. Because if you are doing a job and I know that you're working for this company and you're writing my name down or whatever, you're doing this to my property, I'm coming after you as a man. Because I'm calling the police on you. And from time I call police on you, then I'm getting a statement to say that you're troubling my property.
Carl, sorry, the address then for HMPO,
sure.
Is it not in Scotland?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
I think it is.
No. I mean, if you go on their website, Her Majesty's, well, then again, I don't know whether HMPO is the same thing as Her Majesty's Passport Office.
Okay.
That's Globe House 89.
Eccleston.
Eccleston Square. But if you if you contact HM Passport Office, the general inquiries go to Southport.
This is it.
Yes, because that's right, Liverpool, because that's where the customer service team solution is. But the woman that I was dealing with, she's based up in Glasgow, and of course, back in the day, you would have to have gone down to Petty France or wherever, wouldn't you? Wherever it was.
Yeah.
Croydon.
Cloaked in secrecy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. Because they don't want you to know you're on board a ship, which is United Kingdom. United Kingdom is a ship. That's their docking and boarding and in and out pass. They control the ships.
Mm.
So if your ship is already a ship and you don't even know it's a ship, you're unaware of it, it's a ship because you're holding a ship. Because your name's in the capital letters as a ship.
So can I just ask, just going back to when we were trying to ascertain who would be the person to write to, what was the definitive name that you would all agree on?
Well, if you go online, it's Abby Tierney, but I've just had another look, and she's the Director General of the HMPO and the UK Visa and Immigration.
Then right to that one.
So she's responsible for both offices.
Everything.
Abby, as in A-B-B-E-Y?
ABI.
ABI.
Oh.
Tierney. Tierney.
And I've got a name here, Chief Operating Officer Myrtle Lloyd. Would that have any?
Sorry?
I've got Chief Operating Officer Myrtle, M-Y-R-T-L-E, Lloyd.
Have you got that?
It was the woman I've been dealing with. She gave me that name.
Well, the thing about it, I mean, like,
I have no idea who that is.
She's probably just an agent. You want to go? The principal would be Abby.
Tierney.
That would be the principal. If we're reading that online, like on Wikipedia, because you really, if you go on Wikipedia and search like what we did before, and we looked up Cressida Dick, she was down as. Do you know what I mean? So if we're looking at the HM Passer, it usually tells you who is the one in charge of it. So
Myrtle Lloyd is the COO. Oh, that's funny. She's the COO of the Passport Office.
That's what I said. That's the name that was given to me. By
and as well as a Registrar General for England and Wales.
Correct. That's the name given to me by my caveat officer dealing with me.
Sorry, did you say Lloyd is the Chief Registrar?
Is she the Chief
Operating
Officer?
Yeah, Chief Operating.
As well as the Registrar General for England and Wales.
He's the Registrar General, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Right.
See, these are the things. These are the people we should be writing to if we wanted to ask questions on, well, what's going on? And okay, you're saying I can't have a business passport, but if I look at my passport, my name is written down as a business.
Yeah.
Or what is it written down as? And get them to explain themselves. Because if they can't, then I'm sorry, I can't. Do you know what I mean? I can't accept that.
Well, more importantly, Carl, but we need to know who's writing to us. If they say the Passport Office, tonight we've seen 3 different passport officers.
This is it.
3. We don't know who's who. We need to know who's accountable.
This is it. So we write one letter, but we put all the names in and we send it to all.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, no, but if someone's asking for your passport, who's asking for the passport?
That's what I'm saying.
That's all we need to know. So,
and that's what I'm saying. That's why this is why the director, in my way, in my understanding, is that's why I'll just go and look at what the company is. So if we're finding now, if we find Abby Tierney, whatever, she's acting as the general, whatever. If that's the highest position in that company, then yeah, let's go after that one, because we want the highest person, and we're going them as a man or a woman. So
but you know what, Carl? It might be just a good idea to write to all, because they might all come back with something different.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because if one of them's answering, we're actually writing the capital letter word as English. One of them's told them that, they're writing in English. Okay, so we know they're writing an acronym. We can go after them just on that alone. So what's the acronym? Because they told us that we was in English. If you're writing it in English, it can only be an acronym or a company title. But if it's a company title, it's still an acronym because it's an artificial entity. So it's fictitious. So it's not recognized. That's why, again, that's why they say in the magical book, in the magical dictionary that an acronym is an illusion. So there's nothing there. So who are they writing? What, why, what, how are they writing? What are they writing that name as? That's the question which needs to be answered, what they won't answer. And that's the question we constantly ask, constantly ask, constantly ask. What is the language you're using when you're writing a name in capital letters? Because I really don't understand what you're doing.
Well, did you ever notice any freedom of information requests on this point?
No, because nobody's discussing. Do you see? I haven't. Do you see? When I went on there before, as you see, I went on there for the birth notification form back in them days. But I mean, now, I mean, I just left it alone, because the thing about it, I'm saying, well, look, if I know that all corporations can only do business with other corporations, then I'm buying my company. Because then nobody has a contract with my company, nobody. And so they can keep chasing that capital letter name all day long if they want to. Because if Companies House and HMRC can write to my company correctly, why can't everybody else follow suit? Companies House and HMRC sets the precedence. But they write to me correctly.
But that is, yeah, I get that, but they put the limited on the end, and that is that capitalised name is a company, not a trust.
That's it. That's it.
We've got to really drill down on this and establish.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying, is finding out from them, what way are they using? Because if they're using a company, why aren't they putting, as you just said, Leslie, the part on the end? If it's a trust, then tell me it's a trust, because it's written in capital letters. And in my understanding of language, again, that's why they took the grammar out of schools in 1963. Latin, grammar, all of that, took it out. Didn't want us to know that. It's crazy.
So interesting.
That's the only question we should be asking, really, because they're coming after that entity. That's the thing. They can't be coming after a surname, first and foremost. They can't come after a legal name, because there's no contract with a man or a woman. There's nobody on their end. That's the problem. Once we are, and we take control of our limited company, we are the full liability holder and the responsibility holder of that name. Anything that name does as a limited company, we take responsibility for. Now, whoever the other companies are, nobody's standing up and want to be taking responsibility or liability for that company. That's the problem they got. So we win hands down, because we are the company director stepping forward saying, yeah, hello, show me the contracts for this limited company. And as Caroline proved, she wrote to one company saying, look, do you have a contract with this Johnny Hayden Joe Limited company? And they said, no, they don't. So who are they looking for? Because they're writing who they're looking for down as capital letters, but not as a limited company, because there's no limited on the end of it. So who are they looking for? And then they start changing the name to put it as CA and then the surname. So then now there's not even a first and a middle name. They've changed the name now. Now they're writing initials. Before they was writing the full name. This is the thing, because they can't write the company name, because the company name is already taken. So they can't write that, because who are they writing to? Because they haven't put limited on the end of it. But they can't write it as the whole company name without the limited. It's weird. It's weird. It's funny. It's funny. It's really funny.
Funny you should say that, Carl, because I got a letter from the bank, and they wrote, this time they addressed me with my initials, and then the surname.
That's it.
And they don't very rarely do that. So I'm wondering if the certificate is taking effect.
Is that the same bank what approached you as a limited company?
No, sorry?
Is that the same bank what approached you to set up a limited bank account?
No. I'm just my normal bank.
Yeah. You see, that's the same. They will do that. Because who is that account? Whose is that account? You didn't give them that account number. They created that account for you. So they can put whatever name they want on it.
Okay.
It's not yours.
And it's interesting, I had a letter from Halifax about one of my bog standard bank accounts, and they wrote my name and they put trustee after it, and I've never seen that before.
You see?
So something must be going through the system in order for them to do these.
Weird. Yeah.
This is it. All we've got to do, we just got to stay true to ourselves and what we really. It's like Michael says. It's like, do you know what I mean? How are you getting? Who you doing the business with, in a certain sense. So we've got to recognize that yes, we are managing this company, which is our name, and that's where we get crossed a lot of the times, because we keep joining the two together. I am the name. I am the name. I am the name.
Yeah.
I was listening to Muji earlier on, actually, and he was saying that about deep sleep. When you're in deep sleep, you don't know, this world doesn't exist when you're in deep sleep. When you're daydreaming, yeah, you're in or out of these world, but you're still hearing sounds and things like that. But when you're in deep sleep, you're not here. So when you first wake in the morning, do you have that awareness of awakeness? So say if you was underwater and then you was waking up, as soon as you hit the level of the water to come into the air of the oxygen, that's when the awareness would wake. And that's when you break out of that deep sleep. Now you're awake. What do you remember between that break between the deep sleep and aware? What do you remember between there? Because that gives us clues as well, because it's all our spiritual side of it. We're coming into a new world of existence, because remember, who was that in the deep sleep? It was still you, but your body wasn't there. That's the thing about it. And that's what they're trying to do to us as well. They're saying we've come into their world. This spirit has come into their world. But hold up a minute. I thought God gave everyone this world, and that's why we all came in. Maybe we're all the light workers. We don't know. All of us here, we're light workers, but we don't know. Because how much do we really know from, they say past lives or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Or if people want to believe in that kind of stuff, there's lots of things, but it just goes round and round and round. But they will not answer any questions. That's the only problem I'm getting all the time when I'm writing stuff. They just don't want to answer anything. How was training, Caroline?
It was good. It was good. I'm sure I've missed a lot, but I'll catch up on Leslie's recording.
Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, nothing really major. Just discussing really about the name, really, and bits and pieces, passport office, who did I mean, like Caroline, I was just saying about the director. When you approached the company as the director of the limited company, you did get a response, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as the woman writing like a 3-letter process as a woman under this implied company, they're not recognizing you and they don't want to write back to you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's right. But the minute, I think they know what's coming next, you see. So like I was saying earlier, they're trying to get to me before the 3-letter process ends. So it is what it is. Yeah. I'm at the affidavit state now anyway.
Good.
Sorry, I'm in the car, so it's making some noise.
No, that's not cool.
It's okay. I'm gonna mute myself.
I didn't get any of that. My internet is up and down. Can somebody repeat what she said, please?
No, she was just saying, she was just saying that when she wrote, they're trying to rush it through because they want to ignore the 3-letter process. Now she's on her affidavit and she's just about to finish that off. So, and send that over, which is cool. But I said she was in the car. Okay. She was in the car, so she's just gonna. But yeah, it is. I mean, that's the only thing I would say really. Again, just keep emphasizing that part about anybody who writes to you. Just look up who the company, look up the heading of the company itself, of the headed paper. Find the company, go on Companies House, see if they're a registered company. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like Caroline will tell you again. I mean, like I was on the phone. I was listening in the phone in the conversation, and Caroline was on the phone with this company, and I was listening in. And the guy was like, Caroline was saying, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, the guy was on, like what we're doing. He was up on the internet, blah, 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 company's house, blah, 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 looking up Caroline, looking up, she's the company, blah, blah, blah. Done. This is what I'm saying. They're looking you up as well to find out if you're a company or not. If you're a company, they're going to take their steps carefully. If you're not, then they're just going to rip you off and take everything what they want to take off you, because they know that you're the implied. And there's no one standing in that position of director to back it up when they're writing your name in capital letters. But as soon as they look you up and they see that you're a limited company, that's a different story for them, because they don't have a contract with that company. And that's the only way the name can be written. That's why they had to change your name just to the initials rather than the whole name now. It's just crazy. It's crazy. They will try everything. As long as we stay on the truth, well, who are you looking for? Who are you looking for? Because you're writing the name as a company name, but you don't have a contract with the company. So it can't be a company name. So who is it? And what language is it? Because if you start messing about now and you start messing about with language, hey, listen, game over. Cat's out the bag. Nobody wants to agree to any of this because they're just going to let it out the bag. And then that's it for them. That's it. It's language. No one can change the grammarians, as they say. You can't change grammar. And if it's written down in their textbooks what it is that it is, and we've done the research, and if we found these 4 different ways that it can only be, it can only be one of them 4 ways, only. And whatever way they choose, they lose. That's my truth. I can't lie to myself. That says it in the book. I read. I was born on England. I went to school, all right. Didn't really do much, but I read a couple of books, and now I'm reading good though, and I'm reading serious now. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. Understanding what I'm doing. So again, it's just sharing this information with each other to say, well, look, I'm only looking at it through my eyes from how I would see this as being as a reality check for me. Because if I'm seeing my name in capital letters, that's an illusion now to me. I'm just like, well, what are they looking for? And what is that meaning? To them. Now I'm seeing them as illiterate. Now I'm seeing them still stuck in an illusion because they're not seeing it themselves. And the ones who are sending us and the ones we're arguing with, they haven't got a clue. That's why we have to go to the director. And if the director's name we're writing down, if anything happens and we stop paying, we've already written to the director and let the director know, look, answer these questions or I'm not going to pay you any debts. I'm going to pay you nothing unless you answer this. I'm happy to pay you. I'm happy to give you every penny I've got. But on one consideration, on one condition, you answer these questions for me. Who are you doing this business with? They can't answer you because the man on the end of that company who's standing in position of that company director, that man, he won't have a contract with the woman or the man. He won't, because he wants to go home at the end of the night and not have no worries, because the company, whatever it is, that's not his worries. His name is his worries. That's it. The company's not his name. He's just the director of the company. So he doesn't care. That's why they can liquidate companies so quickly.
Yeah, and dissolve them. Yeah.
And tomorrow the man go open up a next company and do the same thing. Yeah. That's it. Easy as that. You could do the same thing. We can do the same thing if we want to, but we just got to know business. I don't really understand business in that certain sense, but the more I look at this, the more I can see that, hold up, yeah, now I'm understanding business. Because I'm looking at it from a business mind now. I'm not looking at it from, okay, I'm a man or woman going around doing my everyday thing. I'm not doing that. I'm saying I'm a business now. If I go out there, I'm spending money, I'm putting the receipts here, and I'm saying, all right, that's for the company now. But even though the company's dormant, I'm still keeping all my receipts and everything else. Because it's me, the man, who's spending it now. Do you see? So if I'm earning and they say, well, because they can't come after me for tax or anything, because I'm not earning enough. Even though my name's on the document, when I'm sending over the invoice, my name's in uppercase, lowercase. They're paying it into my business account, which is the implied company account. I've had that all my life. But then you see, you take ownership of everything when you are the limited company, because nobody else would have them company bits and pieces. They wouldn't have your bank account. You have your bank account. So now you take over possession because you are the director of your limited company, but you just haven't let the bank be aware yet of that. But that's what we're still trying to do. I mean, it's still in lockdown, man. It's nearly been a year. But we've learned a lot in the year. I mean, I'm glad of what I'm hearing from people, man, and the way they're dealing with things as well. It's just like, well, okay, cool. A lot of people are speaking, do you know what I mean? They're making it your truth. That's it. The books, I can't argue with the books. And if I'm reading their legal books, I can't argue with their legal books because they're reading the same book. I just know what words to pick out and use. They know what words to pick out and use against me. So I know the words to pick out and use to defend me. It's just their own book. We can play their game as much as they can play it to us. The only thing is that they're lying. We're being truthful. So the truth's always going to come through. That's the thing. Whether you're religious or not. Do you know what I mean? The truth is always going to stand.
So those diplomat passports that I think Fabian put up the other day, did anybody address that or looked at it? Or
I think Daniel had a look at it, and he was saying
I looked at it.
Pricing or whatever,
yeah.
$6,000 or whatever, something like that.
Well, this is the thing. When I went on there, it spoke about it not costing you anything, but then once you get one of those, they put in like an application for you for other countries, so that I don't know who you are, that kind of thing. That costs money.
Yeah.
But the passport itself doesn't cost anything, which is a load of rubbish, really.
Can I just say something?
They want you to some kind of capacity or portfolio. So
yeah. Can I just say something on that? You know, when we all buy our companies, yeah? Companies House do write to us and say to us, look, other people and other poachers might come and try and sell you some territory rights or whatever. So just be careful of that. So some people, when you're doing this in business passport and you're looking into it, some people might come because it's a business passport you're looking to get in that certain respect, you see? So we've got to be careful in that certain sense as well. I mean, like, again, that's why I'm saying if we have to go to the United Kingdom, then I'm going to go to United Kingdom and address the United Kingdom. So if they're the HMR passport office and they do business passports, then cool, I'm going to go and check them out and see what they've got to say. Because they can't tell me that they don't do business passports because they're already doing a business passport. And I'm just going back into repeating myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand what you're talking about.
It's such a loop, and it's just such a loop what they're doing. But we've broken the loop, and it's like, okay, now what you're going to answer us with? But nobody's asked the question yet. That's the thing. And we're all trying to do it over the computer, and they're just trying to make everything digital, so we can't get to speak to anybody face to face, man to woman, flesh to flesh, spirit to spirit. You know, it's true. This is it, man. But as soon as we get in there, then at least then we can have a chat with somebody and try and get somewhere. You know what I mean? It's annoying.
So, I know you don't really talk about that. This is something else, but just on the side note, I watched that video you was talking about, the vaccine video.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you see the business?
This is the thing.
No, but just look at the business mentality.
Yes.
That's the thing. And this is what I'm saying. If they're using us as guinea pigs as implied companies, then they're allowed to give that implied company because they're not giving it to a man or a woman. Your doctor's certificate and your doctor's records, your name's written in capital letters. Your hospital documents, your name's written in capital letters. So you can only be an implied company at the hospital. So they're sending you whatever letters. So they're looking at, so now they're the guinea pigs. Now they're saying, okay, Barclays is saying, okay, cool, here's a business offer, what they're offering. And they're saying, well, could you, how are we going to gain back? And they're saying, yeah, well, every year, these people are going to have to go and get it every year. It's going to become a regular thing. And that's where they're going to, because then they're going to up the price on it, like anything. They're just going to up the price.
Yeah, exactly. And so essentially that was supposed to be killing hundreds of thousands of us is now a common cold now. So if it's a common cold, you can't cure common cold. You can only keep developing more vaccines and vaccines and vaccines. Meanwhile, you still have to isolate and you might have to wear 2 or 3 masks.
You see?
It's very clever, but they've already ahead already.
What would be the purpose then of them adding, boosting
money? Money, man.
Why would they need to do that then?
The thing about when they first
money.
Sorry.
Well, apart from money, because we were all on this notion that we thought that they might be, that's the mark of the beast and blah blah blah. There. But
okay, I don't want to really go too much into that, but it's like, yes, you're heading in the right direction with look at the Georgia Guidestones, for example. We had the Georgia Guidestones. They only want 500 million people on the face of the earth, man, by a certain time. Now, if they're going to go out and then turn around and say, okay, we're going to these people, look, when they was test running it recently, last year or whatever, they was giving it in a high dose or whatever, and people were dropping dead.
Mm-hmm.
Then one company found out that it was clogging up the system, the blood system. So they thought, well, okay, we can't give them that one. That one's too strong of a dosage just straight away. What they've probably done, they've probably gone back into the laboratory, lowered the dosage, and now they're giving it to everybody. Now that dosage is part of the every time they give another dosage every year now.
They're adding to what they really want in the first place.
There you go. So that first part where that young girl, that nurse did take it, they gave her that kind of dose and probably said, okay, that was 30 milligrams. So later on, now they drop it down to 1 milligram. So now over the 30 years, by the time you hit the 30th year, you've had your 30 milligram. Look, it's killing you. So they're just spreading it over. I mean, like, it could be. It's a theory.
I think what it is that we're not dying fast enough, or we're dying too slow, or whatever.
Or it's too obvious. Like you said, it's too obvious if you are dropping so quickly.
They want money, man, because they want to keep their livelihood going as well. That's all it is. If they're going to be living for X amount of years, they want to be living in comfort. That's the thing. If their comfort is driving around a Maserati, living in the Buckingham Palace, Hampstead House, or Swansea, or Southwest London, you see what I'm saying? Wherever. Do you know what I mean? If they want to live that lifestyle,
they want sustainability.
Look what P. Diddy said, man, and Biggie. More problem, Maze. More money, more problems. And if you start taking away that money, their problems is gonna grow. They don't want problems. They don't want problems.
Like they can never have enough, really.
That's it.
I'm just curious to know why a country could be added to the red list and how a country is taken off on the red list. For example, on the website now, countries like Ethiopia, Oman, Somalia, Qatar is to be added to England's red list, and countries like Portugal, Madeira, and
it's whatever they want it to be, Fabian. Whatever they want it to be.
It's whatever they want it to be.
Yeah. There's no point in trying to understand because we're not.
There's no science behind it, basically.
Well, we can't understand the rationale, can we? No. I can't understand it anyway.
Who was the countries in red?
The countries that's been put on or added onto the red list is Ethiopia, Oman, Somalia, and Qatar. Okay. And the countries that they've been moving from the red list is Portugal, Madeira, and the Azores.
So
hold on, what does the red list mean?
So this is what I'm saying. Is it the red
people
list?
People that come into the country?
This is it.
Country here, they're not. I think they're not allowed really to come, and if they do come, if they are allowed to come in, they have to go through a quarantine procedure. I gather, but that's if they are allowed to come.
Oh no, we don't. Because if you look at the passports, if you look at the front of our passport, so if you do go abroad and come back, then you can just open the front page of the passport, which basically states that the Queen's giving the Secretary of State request and requires, but to all who it may concern, that the bearer should be allowed to pass freely, unhindered, and if necessary, to be protected and given assistance.
Yes, if they're holding a British passport, but if they're not holding a British passport, would they be allowed in?
Hold up, wait a minute. Before you even go that far, you just said the Queen. Where does the Queen stand in this?
But they work for the Queen, don't they? But they're under the Queen. The Secretary of State's under the Queen, and all corporations, so all agents of corporations have got to respect what the Queen tells them, surely.
Surely, definitely. But isn't that under the UK? Not England.
I mean, it doesn't matter, does it? And the Queen's basically saying, but to all of her agents, the bearer of this document should be allowed to pass freely, unhindered.
No, Carl's got a point there.
Because she plays two roles.
No,
she plays the Queen of England and she plays the Crown.
No, but you're missing my point. You're missing my point, Carl. But you're missing my point. But the point I'm making is that but the bearer of that passport. But if they show that to any agent, all the agents are working under the Queen at some level. Yes. So she's basically saying, it doesn't matter what the passport. Sorry, but it doesn't matter whether the passport's in the UK or whether it's in England or whatever. The whole point is that the agents have to respect it because they are under the authority of the Queen.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, totally. Because the thing about it, what keeps drawing my attention is that how we have to see what is the Queen, what the label the Queen is actually standing under. Now, if it's a passport for the United Kingdom, she's going to be standing under that label to act as the Queen under that label of United Kingdom. You see? If it was something to do with England, she would stand under the label of whatever that title was of England. That's why, again, with the coronation, is it the coronation or the passing? And she goes through temple. When she passes, the passing of the garter or whatever it is, the crossing of the procession, when she goes into the temple, anybody can arrest her as soon as she goes through that gate because she's not in her jurisdiction. And it's the same thing. If she's in there as Queen of United Kingdom or whatever, they can arrest her. If she's there as Queen of England, they can one of them. Once she's in there anyway, anybody can run in there and arrest her because she's not in the jurisdiction because it's the 1 square mile.
Hold on.
So why would they have that written on the inside of the passport then?
This is it. You see, I mean, like this. I wouldn't know.
Well, as you said, Carl, because you basically said a few weeks ago something to do with in times of war. I can't remember the exact phrase that you used, but basically something along the lines of that the passport is something that allows you to travel whilst the war's going on. Yeah. You're allowed to travel freely.
Yeah, that states it in the letter of safe passage. Yeah,
and also you said so long as the country is not.
Letters of safe conduct.
You also said so long as England's not in,
isn't it? It's a letter of safe conduct.
That's right. Yeah.
As long as England's not at war with such and such a country, and of course England's not going to be at war with the United Kingdom.
And plus, as well, what it is, we have to look up the word passport, which we saw that was basically for ships and stuff like that. So this is it. It's just for safe passage. Where the ship gives you safe passage. So we are a ship and we're just given a passport. So our ship, our body, which is the ship, has safe passage. And we're not at war with anybody because we come under United Kingdom. And if we cause any trouble, United Kingdom is going to come down hard on us because we're one of their staff members and we've agreed to go quietly. If we go over there and start cause trouble and start meet up a couple of people and rob them, do you know what I mean? Then we can get done by the UK government because we agree to be safe and, do you know what I mean, cause no harm.
Has anyone received a passport recently in the last year or two?
No.
I have, I think.
And when did you receive it, Fabian?
Sorry?
When did you receive it?
Hold on, let me just get it. Give me a minute or so.
I'm interested to know whether it says the same thing on the inside of that passport.
Only for a UK passport you're talking about, yeah?
Sorry?
Or any passport?
Well, I don't know. So what passport have you received recently?
Jamaican.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's part of the Commonwealth. So I'd be interested.
Let me go and get it.
Yeah. Because the Canadian passport's got it in, hasn't it?
So basically, you're saying, with what it says inside, you should still be able to travel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my point.
That's it.
But
At the same time, Nikki, but I can't tell you that you've got to go in a hotel and pay 12, 13, 1400 pounds. Hang on a minute. Can you read the inside of this document? I need safe passage.
yeah, that's right.
I got my Jamaican passport last week,
Oh, okay.
and it says the Minister of Foreign Affairs requests and requires, in the name of the government of Jamaica, all those whom it may concern to allow the bearer to pass freely without let or hindrance, and to afford the bearer such assistance and protection as may be necessary.
That's very similar to the UK one. Very similar.
Because it's under the same statute.
Yeah. And the Canadian one says something similar as well.
Yeah,
so
it's all under the same common, isn't it? It's all under the UK.
but does that
under the
mean,
Commonwealth, isn't it? Because it was a colonized country, wasn't it? So she's still got her hands in there.
Yeah. And right, so does that mean then that the bearer can use it whether they are going abroad or only if they're coming back to the UK? Because if it's saying that to all who it may concern, but that should be if you travel abroad as well. So if you from England to America, then they've got to let you through in the States.
You're doing business. That's the thing. So it's only related to business. So if you're going on holiday, that's business. So you're buying a return ticket. So that's business. You're allowing the cargo to go there and come back. Whatever you do in that business, that's up to you. But if you do anything illegal under the UK regulation, what allows you to do that business, then you see, you can go on holiday. You're still doing business because you're traveling as a company anyway.
One of the question I was trying to get answered is, if you're a UK passport holder and if you travel outside the UK, then, but does that statement on the inside of the passport apply to the border control abroad as well? Can you see my point? Because it's saying to all who it may concern, and allow the bearer to travel freely, and more to pass through freely without let or hindrance.
You see, I mean,
how would you argue the point on that?
No, I mean, like, it wouldn't really argue the point because what they're saying is correct. But you've got to look under what heading is it falling under. That's the question.
No. I mean, it doesn't call. It's saying to all who it may concern.
I've just Wikipedia'd.
Yeah.
Britannic Majesty.
I'll have to look into it. I mean, I fully understand what you're saying.
When you were questioning Carl whether what role she's playing, whether it's on the role of England or the role of the United Kingdom, she's the head of the monarch of the United Kingdom.
That's it.
So she plays both roles basically.
Yeah, that's why she's in Buckingham.
Sure, it's the UK, or is it worded as Great Britain and Northern Ireland?
No, it's worded as United Kingdom.
Okay.
That's the fraud from her oath in '53 when they changed it to United Kingdom, a corporation from the land.
You see?
Yeah, because I'm sure she actually stated in 1953, it was Great Britain and Northern Ireland, India, and all the others as well.
Yeah.
Because on the passport it still says Great United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It still says that on the UK passport.
But the oath that she swore was United Kingdom, and all the colonies were listed like Ceylon and everywhere else.
Right.
So there's a known fraud about that oath being changed from the Oaths Act.
Right. Yeah, it's been mentioned in that PLD group.
It's just fraudulent bookkeeping. They're just moving business to business and trying to compress the businesses. They're merging businesses.
They're trying to find people now, you know that, for going on holiday, £5,000.
Sorry, what's that, Nick?
They're trying to find people £5,000 for going on holiday if they try to travel.
Yeah, without good reason. Yeah.
Can you believe that? Wow. When does it end? It really is. It really is. And these laws that they're talking about, they're what's it called? They're legislative laws as well.
Of course.
So they don't apply really.
They only apply. All legislation and statutes only apply to companies. That's it. Law doesn't apply to companies. Law applies to men and women. Legislation and statutes apply to companies. That's why we get confused, because we think legislation and statutes apply to us because they're using our name. No, that's the implied company. If we agree to be the implied company, then yes, we're going to feel that legislation and statutes apply to us, but they don't. It's the company they apply to. Legislations, it's legality.
Unless you give your consent.
This is it. And we do when we write down our name and our surname, because we're giving over our legal name.
Yeah.
And if I were to write to them and I wrote just my forenames, they wouldn't accept that. They need the legal name for there to be joinder, but they're not telling us that. Or they would accept just our first name. That's the thing. They need a legal name to create joinder with. They need a debtor.
And so in your template then, Carl, I can see that you've got : John Henry : yeah? So isn't it all lowercase?
Well, it depends on how they're writing it as well. If it's, I mean, like, it can be all lowercase. It depends on how you see it. Remember what Aaron was saying as well, is how you see your truth. If I write my name, sometimes I write my name as all lowercase. And that's exactly the same way in full colon, the first name hyphen, middle name, full colon, and then the surname, all lowercase. I write that sometimes. I write uppercase, lowercase, but I never write uppercase, full uppercase.
But we don't want to put the surname though, do we? Because it's not ours.
That's it. You just put, well, it's not yours, but the thing about you want to differentiate yourself from the company. So you going down as the Christian name shows that you are the creditor of the company. The company can go into debt. So the company takes on the surname and says, right, that can be the debtor. If that company goes in, they can only sue or go after a company. So they have to put the surname in there if it's the company. But we're going to be the director as the creditor of that company, and we're going to look after that company. So they can't come after that full name now. Do you see? So so that's why we just say, okay, as a director, I'm written down just as my forenames, but not my surname. If I am down as my surname, I can change that, but it's written down in that certain way of, do you see, you're separating the two, basically.
But when you registered the company, you used a surname as the owner, didn't you?
This is it. Well, you use your full name, but you're separating. But the thing about it, what it's doing.
Well, in the Bible, they didn't have surnames, did they?
There you go. And the thing about it, going back to what Leslie just said there, sorry, quickly, Michael, is that how when you do the differentiation, what I was looking at and what says there is when you write down the company, what company name is, it actually says the country it will be registered in is United Kingdom. And then when you look at the owner, the registered country is England, where the owner resides. So you're the woman or the man as the forenames, the Christian name, the creditor, as the director of the company standing on the land. But the ship, which is the legal entity, which is the ship, is floating in the sea. That's why the capital letters, because all ships' names are written in capital letters. So your ship is floating in the United Kingdom if you want to do business there. And that will be John Henry Doe Limited on the side of the ship, rather than John Henry Doe.
I'm not talking about that. Caroline, is Caroline still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. What was that? Sorry, I missed that. I was talking on the phone. What was that?
Do you know the... I spoke to you the other day, and you mentioned something along the lines of taking your name off as a PSC, person with a significant...
Oh, yes.
Did you investigate that any further?
I'm on a Zoom. All right. Yeah, Ashley actually found a way that we can actually remove our names so we're not seen down as a person of significant control. So we can actually hide it. And I think that's a good idea because, for instance, where the receivers would have looked up my name, they also looked up to see who was in control. And obviously I'm down as in control of my name. And it would have been so much nicer if they could not have seen who was in control of my name, because it could have been you, it could have been Leslie, it could have been Nick, it could have been anybody. So he has given us a form. I've got to find it, but there is a form that he's... Did you remember it, Leslie? Did you see it? Did you see it?
It costs £100, doesn't it?
Yes, it's £100, yeah.
Afterwards then, please, Leslie.
The link, it's in the group. The link's in the group.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, the link's in the group.
A couple of weeks.
Signal?
Why would it?
Yeah, Signal.
Why would it matter? Why would it matter if they had your name or not? It wouldn't matter.
That's it. It wouldn't matter.
No, I think it's just a bit more for security, because when you look for them, when you look to find out who's in control of whoever's coming for you, you can't tell who the director is or anything because they've hidden their name.
There you go.
So where you might want to say, I'm going to take that director to court, you can't find out who he is. They've hidden it. So why can't we do the same? We need to mirror what they do.
Exactly. But the thing about it, we're doing it in a truthful manner.
Yeah, and they're doing it subversively. So
there you go.
It's good. You can't put everything out there. I don't think you can let them see everything.
No.
You know, if they're hiding it for a reason. You know, just like they hid the fact that some of them are limited companies and stuff. It's not something that's easily out there for everyone to see. You have to go searching for it.
Totally.
So let them search and see who's in charge of, you know, whoever.
I'm wondering, you know, those passport companies we looked at earlier, well, we've got nobody listed as director or in control. Can we use the Section 44 Company Act to require them to disclose that, do you think?
I don't know what
That's a good point.
Yeah, but who's going to read it?
That's the thing. The beauty about what we've got on our side is we've got all the legislations and statutes on our side. Because we can tap into any one of them acts, any one of them legislations, any one of them statutes, and throw it at them to answer. That's the thing. And that's coming from the limited. That's if we're trading as a limited company, we have all of that to back us up with.
And if we're dormant?
And if we're dormant, I mean, like, there's nothing to worry about. Because who are they looking for?
Was that the Companies Act, did you say, Leslie?
Yeah, Section 44, I think it is. Company Act 2006. Leah might know, because I know she knows about this, if she's on.
Yeah, Leah's on.
You there, Leah?
Leah's sleeping, man.
Hello, Leah.
That's interesting, because paragraph 2 of section 44, it states a document is validly executed by a company if it is signed on behalf of the company, A, by two authorized signatories. Two authorized signatories.
There you go.
Or B, by a director of the company in the presence of a witness who attests the signature. They have never signed like that, ever.
No.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's the beauty about what we can do. Every letter we write to ourselves or transferring bits and pieces from our one company to our other company or a trust to whatever or company, we can write a letter to ourselves and have two witnesses support that. Because you're just writing a legally binding document. And as long as there's two witnesses on either side, them two witnesses could be on the same size of both people signing. And the people signing could be the same person.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to work through this thread then. So I'm trying to understand what you were saying about section 44, Leslie.
Can't be that section. That's to do with execution of deeds and documents then. So does it mention about having to disclose directors? Or
No, the only thing about directors is the authorised signatories.
Right. So
they're just allowing the company to do the business. That's it.
Oh, that's the wrong section then, yeah, because it could be section 3. No. Leah will know this if she's on.
Oh, right. But the point about this is, though, it's very powerful, particularly paragraph 2, that a document has to be validly executed by a company. So if you receive anything at all from any organisation, if it doesn't have 2 authorised signatories or a director's signature that's been done in the presence of a witness who attests to the signature. So you've got to have at least 2 signatories on every validly executed document.
Totally. And that puts us so much in power because we're taking full liability and responsibility for our company. They're not.
So even though it's accidental, Leslie, this is a very good find.
Okay. But now I'm wondering, where the hell is it? It's about concealment of data.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this in the chat, Leslie, so when you actually send out the details, can you copy the chat as well, please?
Will do, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone recording this?
Yeah, I'm recording it, yeah.
All right, cool.
Is Leah on still? I'm looking on the internet.
Yeah,
Somebody call her then.
Leah's there, but...
I'm just about to call her, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's okay.
Well, you might want to check out section 54 of that same act.
54.
Yeah.
Well, what did you say?
Can't get her. Sorry, she's not answering.
Oh, that's a good one. Names suggesting connection with government or public authority. Ooh, Laurie.
What's that, section 54, did you say?
Yeah. Oh, well done, Laurie. I like.
Bring that up in the chat, somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I share the document so you can see it now?
Please.
Yeah, but I'll just put the link in the chat.
Yeah, put it in there as well. Can you see that?
Yeah, because it.
Oh, what?
Now, could this apply to the legal fiction name?
No, it can't.
No. Okay.
It has to be approved, and it has to be, and a legal fiction is an implied. It's not expressed.
Yeah.
But obviously, this would be perfect for the council.
Wouldn't
Anything like talking to the council.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
For the council, yeah, all of that stuff. I mean, it's so amazing when you first read the first page and they write Her Majesty and they write that in all capital letters, and that's the only thing in the rest is just like, so they don't even, that's not even there. It's crazy.
Oh, here we go. It's in chapter 6, I think. Chapter 6, trading disclosures, requirement to disclose company name, etc. Let's have a look at that.
What's that, section 6?
Yeah.
Chapter 6, section 82.
So we need that in the letter of questions, you're saying, Carl?
Yeah, you can do. This is the thing, because they're a company. So you as a company is asking them as a company. And that's what I'm saying. It's they're the ones who's doing these contracts and agreements.
You need to be careful here, though, Carl, because if you look online and if you look at, say, for example, Abby Tierney, she's the Director General of the HM Passport Office.
That's it.
What they'll say is It's not a corporation, it's a government agency.
Well, that's the thing. But that's
It's
the
still
thing
a
about it.
company. Government agency is still a company.
But
Not-
then
Not necessarily.
you point to Companies House and say it's registered in Companies House as a limited company.
Well, yeah, but it isn't, don't forget. There's nothing on Company's House. I mean, Leslie found it on Company Check.
Yeah, the
I
company.
don't know what that's looking for.
This is it. So we find.
So we do need to obviously get them to tell us exactly what's going on, because we don't know, because you don't know, because it could be, I don't know, it could be the mafia under the name of HM Passport Office.
Totally. It could be. That's the thing about it. We don't know who we're messing about with.
Yeah.
That's the
It could be
problem.
the devil himself.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is where it's like, okay, I'm just trying to find out the truth for myself and finding out, well, hold up a minute. If you want me to have a passport and you're telling me I've got to have a passport to go on wherever. Now, I have to have a passport, but I have to fall under your rule by having that passport. Now, the thing about it, if I take on the passport as a limited company, whereas they have the name down as a company name, this is what we was talking about the other week when Aaron, he was talking about the world passport, and he was saying that a few people were having problems. I just matted it down to say, well, okay, if it's a world passport, they don't know where to find you because you could be anywhere in the world. If you've got a UK passport, then you know that you're coming under the UK law, so they can find you and put the UK law on you. If you're coming under your own company, they can come straight to your doorstep. They don't need to go to United Kingdom, look for the computers and find out who you are and where you are. They come straight to your doorstep. What have you got to hide? You have nothing to hide unless you're doing something wrong. And you ain't doing nothing wrong. You're doing what you're doing because you're living on the earth. That's what you're here to do, live on the earth. That's it. They're the ones who's making us get into this and bow into this and do whatever. Yes, if we want to follow that, cool, we follow that.
It'd be interesting to know what all corporations are obliged to divulge if they're asked.
This is it.
Because I can't see it. I'm trying to find something that would be obvious, but
remember when you
in different sections.
Yeah. When you've got companies as well, remember you've got silent partners. So they could just have somebody down as a director and they don't even have to be listed. The people running it.
Yeah.
Do you see? They could be silent partners. So
I think they're bringing in that thing to do with anti-money laundering, where they're tightening up companies having to declare who's owning them or who's got significant control.
This is it.
At the moment, it's a bit of a pig's ear. Some companies do declare, others hide it fatally. But
Well, obviously, the ones that are hiding it are obviously hiding something.
But like Carl said, it's a strategy for nesting companies within companies to maintain privacy and what they're up to.
Well,
I thought they had to.
remember,
I thought they had to.
You have, sorry. Go on.
I thought they had to pass a fit. What do you call it? Fit for person. Something like that. Like in the football industry, someone can't just come in and want to take over a football club unless they pass a fit for person profile or something. So we know that they're legit, so to speak. Are you talking about that, Les? In another aspect.
Oh, look, Leah's just text something.
What she said.
Section 44 Companies Act 2006.
Yeah, but that's to do with the execution of deeds and documents. You know, the two signatures and under seal and all that jazz.
Yeah.
What was the original question, Leslie, that you were trying to find answer to? I've forgotten, sorry.
Okay, so it's where we've got a right to
find out who
the owner is, yeah? And if they conceal it, it's a criminal act. But there's something in the company that requires that. And I can't find it.
Nah, that doesn't make sense. It can't be
It's not section
criminal
44.
act if they're offering companies the choice to do that. Because you were talking earlier about hiding our names, and we've got the option. Or is that because we're on the other side of the fence we can do that?
Oh, hang on, there is something here in section 463 about the liability for false or misleading statement in report.
Oh.
And paragraph 3, it says he is so liable only if A, but he knew the statement to be untrue or misleading, or B, he knew the omission to be dishonest concealment of a material fact.
But that would be in financial reports, presumably, would it?
It says false or misleading statement in report. It doesn't say what type of report. Oh, hang on. The reports to which this section applies are the strategic. Oh, okay, yeah, strategic report, director's report, director's remuneration report, any separate corporate governance statement. So basically, they can bullshit everyone else.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, that's something to look into. I'll have a little look around that because I've got the section wrong, so I need to learn the right one. And I'm sure there's something in here. Just such a big act, isn't it?
I mean, that would be useful to know, though, Leslie, if you do find it.
That's homework. I'll do that.
Well,
it just goes to say again, basically on their side of things, that they have to have a document with them signing it as well, with 2 witnesses.
Yeah, yeah.
From their side of things, we can easily produce that if we wanted to, because we're happy to stand liable and responsible for our company.
Leah's just come back again.
All right.
It says section 790.
Oh, right.
M, N, and O of the Companies Act 2006. It's a PSC register.
Ah.
So let's look at that one.
Jesus, this thing's really long, eh?
So section 790.
It takes an age to search through it.
November and October. She's also come back with UKPGA 2006, section 46, stroke section 790.
What's that? UKPGA?
Yeah. So it's a government, legislation government UK / UKPGA / 2006 / 46 / section / 790. I think it's the same thing she's just said, isn't it? It's just quick way of getting to it.
About section 46.
I'm going to send it to you, Leslie.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll take a lifetime to read through this, even just the headings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why companies have secretaries, and that's not a sexist comment, by the way.
I mean, instead of saying section, Leslie, I mean, I guess all we need to say is that you need to divulge it according to the Companies Act 2006 and let them do the homework.
Well, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's not for us to tell them which section and paragraph and verse, is it?
Fair dues, yeah.
Yeah, but technically, I think this section kind of lets them out anyway because they're talking about a registrable person, and they're saying that can be an entity. It doesn't have to be a named man or woman. So it kind of lets them out of it anyway, because that's what all of these nesting companies are. So, for instance, if you look at all these debt collectors, especially things like Caboot or Westcott, they've got like various different variations of the name. So they'll have like Westcott Holding Company, Westcott Debt Services Limited. They're all limited, but basically they've got like 100 variations of the limited company name, and they're all got separate company numbers, but that's how they're getting around this. And they'll just say that like that first one's owned by the second one, and then the second one's owned by the third one, and you never get to who's. Yeah. And eventually, when you follow the trail, you find out that it's owned by some company in let's say Switzerland.
There you go.
But you can ask for the registration number of the corporation who obviously is writing to you, and they've got to provide it, surely.
Yeah, that's on the bottom of the paperwork. But in terms of actually trying to get a man or woman to be personally liable and as a significant person of control, that section 790 allows them to get around that by naming an entity, so another company.
It's the same thing what Caroline was saying the other week about where this company called Waterford, I think it was registered as in the care of Alexandra and Co. So Alexandra and Co was actually a dormant company, but there was another company registered under it that was trading under it. So how can that company trade?
Well, as I said, if someone's asking, if some entity, not someone, if some entity is asking you for money, they need to say who they are.
Of course.
But if they don't, and if they don't produce a validly executed document according to Section 44 of the Companies Act, then you don't have to pay because
they're creating the estoppel.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could, in a sense, legitimately say to them that if they don't identify who they are, then it means that there's no one who you're dealing with, in which case there's no payment required.
That's the one.
And if there's no payment required, then they've got to leave you alone. And if they continue to come after you for money, but then it's protection from harassment, it's fraud, it's a breach of the Companies Act, it's everything then, isn't it, surely?
What do you mean who they are, Michael? When you say who they are, they've given you their name? They've signed...
No, I'm talking about the corporation, Caroline, but the corporation needs to say who is asking for the money. If John Smith works at British Gas, it's not John Smith who wants the money, it's British Gas who wants the money. So a director has to sign it in the presence of a witness, or it's got to be 2 authorised signatories. You can't just have one person signing it.
No.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
And that's Section 44 because it's a validly executed document. And if it's not valid, but then you can assume it's invalid. And if it's invalid, then they've made a mistake or it's unlawful or anything along those lines. And if they continue to come after you, but then it's protection from harassment, it's fraud act, it's a breach of the Companies Act, everything else that you can throw at them.
And they have to provide a contract between the two companies, which they don't have because the two companies don't have a contract together. And that's what I'm saying. This is what happens. This is where we use it as we use the legal system to our advantage, because now we know the legal system is only dealing with companies.
I'll tell you something. I think it might be worth us going through this, the Companies Act, and just trying to break it down and come up with all the points that are valid that's going to help us with our companies, and at the same time, we can push back to say to the potential creditors that's coming after us.
Totally. But the thing about it, what Caroline did was a smart move. What we was talking about is actually write to the company in the first place and ask them if they have a contract with your limited company. And if they don't, game over. And in Caroline's case, they said they didn't have a contract with the limited company. So
they said they doesn't need a contract with the limited company, but their clients, had a contract with. No. What did they say? They said clearly we don't have a contract with a limited company, but their client has a contract with.
Legal fiction.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they didn't say. Yeah.
Of course, I can't produce it because it's a breach of data protection, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's one way. And the thing about it, if as I said to Caroline, you look at the original document with the agreement and how was the name written, and the name's actually written in all capital letters anyway. So of course, this company was trying to do contracts with an implied company.
Yeah.
So they was the ones who was causing the coercion in the first place. They're coercing her to do a contract, and they're not even telling her that they're trying to do a contract with an implied company, and she's going to be the one standing up to hold responsibility or liability for that implied company. They're not telling her that.
So where do you go then if they're not prepared to give you the contract between the legal fiction and themselves?
Well, the thing about it, there would have had to been it depends on who you're dealing with. Because if you're dealing, say for example, if you're dealing with a mortgage company, the mortgage company would have the agreement in the first place, and you, the woman or man, would have an agreement. So you would know, but at the time, you wouldn't have noticed that your name was written in capital letters, for example. Now we do. We can go back to the mortgage company and say, well, hold up a minute, who is this contract made with? Because you're writing it as a company contract. You're not writing it to a man or a woman. So if you're writing it as a man or a woman, who's now here where it comes where Michael was talking about, who's the director of that company, the mortgage company, and where is the contract with the two witnesses behind the director saying that that agreement's standing? Do you see? That's where the power is in our favor, because we're trying to find out who this company was, what they was writing down in capital letters. And if it wasn't a company, they was writing it down as letter and they was writing it down as woman, what is the language they're using? Because if it's English and they're trying to say that this woman they're writing down in capital letters is in English language, then it's an acronym. So what does it stand for? So we get them either way, in a certain respect.
Laurie, can I just ask you again, what was that section that said it didn't have to be a man or woman as the PS?
That's that section that Leah was talking about. Was it 790M? 790M for mother.
Thank you.
I can't see that.
If you're on the Companies Act 2006, you have to scroll all the way at the bottom. Like it goes up to really high numbers.
Yeah, I can see 790N. The N for November.
Yeah, right above it is M for mother.
Oh, there it is. Duty to keep register. Yeah. Register of people with significant control. Is that what you're referring to, Laurie?
That's it, yeah.
I can't find that.
It's in yeah, but it's chapter 3, Caroline.
Chapter 3.
Remember, as well, when you're looking at the PSC, remember they're saying it's a person. So a person, remember there's the different definitions of the person, and a person can be an artificial person. That's what Laurie's saying. And an artificial can be another company. So another company can be in the position of the person with significant control. It doesn't have to be a man or a woman.
No, Carl, this says register of people with significant control.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you scroll down, it says what a person, it classifies as a person.
That's it.
So I think it's 11.
No, but people, you have to have more than one person to start a company and to allow a company to run. So you're going to have more than one person signing an agreement.
No, can I say, if they're defining person, which they have in the Interpretation Act 1979, they've got to define people, because people does not imply plural of person.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's a good
unless people has a standard English meaning, but in which case it's a living man or woman.
Well, it's saying that people is not plural.
I thought people was plural. I thought people was a plural for person.
Because it's more than one.
Yeah,
we're talking about maybe
it's more than one.
Yeah, so it's plural.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, persons is plural of person.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But this says people with significant control, not person with significant control.
This is interesting.
And what's the definition of their people?
I can't see that, Carl, unfortunately.
Okay, no, that's cool. That's cool. Because the thing about it would even though it's their agreement or it's still applying to the company. So if it's saying about the people who are acting on behalf of the company, maybe, I'm not sure.
I'll tell you something, this is misleading at best, because in the actual text it uses the word people. It also uses person.
This is it. This is the verb adverb, what David Wynne-Miller goes on about, and Mark Kishore Christopher. They use verb and adverbs to get around, so there's no conclusion.
Yeah. And they can
get out of it. Do you see? They just get, so we have to hit them with the facts. This is where David Wynne-Miller, Mark Kishore comes in really good, because they deal with the facts. Even though they're writing in sign language, they still deal with the facts.
Can I just say, Leah's just apologising. She can hear us, but she's got a very bad connection. She can't actually speak.
That's cool. Hi, Leah.
This is very interesting, isn't it?
790N, it says registered to be kept available for inspection. A company's PSC register, so people with significant control, must be kept available for inspection at its registrar's office or at a place specified in regulations under section 1136. Now, it doesn't say who can or can't inspect it. So if it's got to be kept available for inspection, and does that mean that if a debtor, if a perceived debtor of the corporation believes they want to see the PSC register, then they've got to produce it.
Mm. Mm. Unless it's just internal.
It doesn't say that.
Okay, cool.
It says it must be available for inspection.
Right, 7900 then O, a company's PSC register must be open to the inspection of any person without charge.
So if we look at that in a legal sense, that's going to be a person, so any company can look at that.
Or any legal fiction, yeah.
Yeah, anybody.
And if you want a copy, they can charge for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, so all these are really useful. I think it's going to be worth us going through this at some stage.
Yeah.
Again, it's always good because, you know, we've got this information. Then if they want to come after our limited company, we know we can back it up with all these statutes and acts and whatever. We can back it up as our limited company. But they won't see us as the implied company using this information against them. Because they're seeing the implied company as a ghost, so no one can reply to them. So they're not going to recognize the implied company. They're not going to recognize the legal man or woman. They're not. We have to go in there as a limited company. But if we're learning all this now, then at least then we can take that as, yes, we've got this ammunition. Let's use it as ammunition. So we know that these are the questions we're asking before we pay anything. Mm. You see, before we pay anything more, I want these questions answered. I'm happy to pay. So I'm saying to them, I'm not going to pay. I am going to pay, but I need these questions answered before I start giving you any more money. Yeah. Because I feel that I'm being deceived. You know? And that's the thing about it. This is where, I mean, like, again, this is what I was saying again. I mean, like, it's good in a way that we're going through this because we're looking into something what is not really being looked at. No one's looking at this, just with the language alone. Always have to give respect to Romley Stewart, man, and Rohan Lorien for discovering the Chicago Manual of Style, man. It's just like amazing. It's just opened up such a book of work, can of worms.
Sorry, Leah's just text something else. Practice Guide 8, execution. Must be execution of D's, I think.
Yeah.
Execution of D's, full strike practice, must be guidelines. It's not all come out on my phone.
That's from the Law Commission, isn't it, in 2006? Practice Guide 8, though, I'll make a note of that. Mm. And at 790R, it's an offence in connection with request for or disclosure of information. So I reckon this is the one where they don't disclose. It is an offence to mislead or make false or deceptive statements. So I've done my own work. There you go.
Looks like
you've got to look up the Fraud Act of aiding and abetting as well.
Yes, yeah, but also all of this that we're going through here is part of mercantile law, isn't it?
That's it.
Which is higher than this legislation anyway, and it's part of that verification phase, which is long-standing.
Because you're going after a man or a woman now, because you're trying to find who is the standing authority behind what's going on. If they want to stand in that position, then hey, yeah, cool, all right.
Yeah.
Prove who you are, because they're asking us to prove. We can ask them to prove.
Absolutely.
So now if we're going after directly the man or the woman, we're asking them to prove. But we're asking for the man and the woman.
Yeah.
This is a useful chat that we can use. There's a lot of information here.
Loads and loads.
Oh, here we go. But it's protected information. 790T 790N are subject to protection of information as to usual residential address. So that's the thing that Ashley's using, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But as I said though, Leslie, I think that we should keep all these section numbers to ourselves. But if we know it's somewhere in the Act, well, then we can state it and say that they have to comply according to Companies Act 2006 and leave it at that, and don't give them section numbers. Let them do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leslie, do you mean section 790ZF?
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. No, I was going to T.
Oh, right.
What is that? 790F.
790ZF.
ZF. I haven't found that one yet.
It says protection of information as to usual residential address. So that's how you can hide your address on the registrar.
Right. That's probably one of the ones what Ashley was speaking about as well.
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
100 quid.
Yeah.
Worth it though.
That's it. And that's what probably them guys are doing. They might even just say, look, we don't want to be even registered on, because you know, when you get a your phone number, you can go, what's that called? What they call is it itemized? No. You don't show your phone number in the yellow pages or X directory. It's like you're paying for your company to be X directory from Companies House. So, for example, as Leslie was looking up company check, they can be found that way, but they might not be found on Companies House because they might be put down as X directory.
Yeah.
Like a phone number or something. I don't know. There's many different. But yeah, and that's what I was saying about what Laurie was explaining earlier on about the company being the directors of another company, being the directors of another company, being a director. So a company is always the director of another company. And that's basically a trust within a trust.
But ultimately, though, Carl, we can still make them all liable, because if they're not prepared to say who they are, then there's obviously no agreement between us. Simple as that.
Certainly. And that's the thing. It's the man and the woman that has to have sat down and had a negotiation between the agreement that they was going to have. But that didn't take place because it was an implied company that they had their limited company trying to do a contract with the implied company and got away with it. But now we're sending back and we're saying, well, hold up a minute. No, you ain't got away with it. Please explain who this company who's the director behind the company you had the contract with, because that the company they had a contract with wasn't registered. So that's a non-contract. It's a unilateral agreement. They're a limited company trying to make a contract with a company that doesn't exist because it isn't even registered on Companies House. They can only do business with other companies who are registered. Or it doesn't, it's non-existent. Now, when you come along and you're a proper registered limited company now, they get worried because they know there wasn't no contract. And there has to be contract between companies. But if you're agreeing to be in the responsible holder of that implied company, and you know no different, then they're going to keep doing what they're doing. That's how I see it anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's a palaver.
Yeah, guys, I'm bowing out, man. I got a 4 o'clock start, bro.
Yeah, that's hard.
No, man, it's not that bad. It's 2 o'clock finish, so yeah, I mean, I guess
it's all right.
I get a chance to get some kind of rest.
All right, Nick.
All right, bless, guys. You take it easy.
Nick, bye.
See you next time.
See you later, Nick.
See you soon.
I've just got another message from Leah. She's just mentioned the Larceny Act 1916.
Right.
Which one, Caroline? Larceny.
Larcenary
Act 1916.
Larcenary.
Yeah.
That means nicking stuff.
I know there's larceny, but I've never heard of larcenary.
Yeah, larceny.
Yes, I said it. Yeah, larceny.
Leslie's
It's 1916.
Yes.
Here we go.
False, every person by who any false pretense. It with the intent to defraud obtains.
Yeah.
Okay.
That comes under the
Oh,
fraud.
God, there's a lot here.
Yeah, that comes under the Fraud Act as well.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the Fraud Act.
You see, I think that we should put all these in the chat, if possible, Leslie. Then we can obviously go through them.
Yep.
Is it possible to do, Leslie?
Done that, yeah.
Okay.
What did you say, Caroline? It's section, what did you say, of the Larceny Act?
32. Well, I'm under section 32. Let me just go back.
Oh yeah, it's false pretenses. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you pronounce that word?
Larceny.
Larceny.
Yeah.
Larceny Act. Yeah. Isn't that teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Oh, it's the Foundation Act for the Fraud Act. So there's a little article I found here. I'll stick that up as well.
Yep.
So much to learn.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not too bad if we're focusing on these really key.
Of course, these are the key things we need to focus on. Because the thing about it, as Caroline's showed, that when you write to them as your limited company, they're saying they don't have contract with you.
Yeah.
So all of this ammunition we're learning now, if they choose to want to come after the limited company, we can throw all of this at them.
Yeah.
They'll never come after the limited company, will they? They'll always come after the implied. And I suppose that's when we let them know that, well, we were implied without our knowledge.
That's it.
But we need to obviously protect that, don't we?
Yeah, totally. But that's the first thing, what we're saying about, we first question them. If they are coming after the implied, we can question them, well, hold up a minute. There is no one called this. There's only a company named that. There is no one called, there's no man and woman called that. There's only a company. So are you writing to the company because you're writing it in capital letters?
And what about if you were to add another person on with a 51% share in the PSC position? So if Caroline, for example, put Carl on as a joint PSC on her limited name,
this is it.
That would fuck them up even more, wouldn't it?
That's it. It's like the same thing. Like when Caroline was on the conversation, as I said, I was in a phone. The guy was looking up her company. Straight away. And that's what.
I get you, Leslie.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So when Caroline was writing the letter, she was writing a letter to both directors. So they're both people with significant control.
Right.
So they would have to do the same with ours then.
This is it.
Yeah.
They would write to both directors.
I don't get that, Leslie.
So if in your company at the moment you're the only PSC, so it's easy for them to construe one and the same. But if you put Carl on as being the majority PSC holder with 51 or 60%, and you've got 40% minority interest, they would have to write to Carl.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you see?
Yeah. So it's like the trustee then of your trust. They've got to write to the trustee rather than the beneficiary.
Well, you could have a private trust governing that relationship in the background that you never have to declare because it would be in the private.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
But we should all do amongst ourselves to actually safeguard ourselves, shouldn't we?
But the thing about it, the only thing I've got to say about that is that how you wouldn't have to, because the thing about it, as soon as you start adding other people to your company, it means that you're going to start trading.
Not necessarily, Carl.
Be dormant. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it can be dormant. That's not a problem. But that's the thing about it. This is the thing. The company's never going to trade. It's always going to be in dormancy. So no one will ever come after that company. So it doesn't matter who's on there.
Oh, okay.
That's
in
the
a way
thing.
it does, because if they said, right, so they found out in the name, this thing with the receiver, Caroline, they looked you up and they construed, because you were the owner, your legal name was the owner of the company, they construed one and the same, didn't they?
That's right.
So I'm saying if Carl was in there as well, they would not be able to do that so easily.
Yeah,
but if he's got the majority shareholder, if it's a person with significant control with more than 50%, then they've got to write to him only.
Yeah.
And the person with significant control, it doesn't necessarily mean to say that you're going to benefit them at all from the corporation. It just means that you've got significant control within the corporation. That's all.
it.
Yeah. So we could put our children.
It's a trust.
You can put anybody you want.
Yeah.
As I said, you don't have to be the captain of your ship. Anybody can be the captain of your ship and go out and do business in it. They're showing us that when they say, okay, if you insure the driver, then you can insure that car can be insured for any driver. It's the same thing. You've got this company, that company's there for any captain to go out and trade with it if you choose for it to do that. So anybody can be down as a person with significant control. But again, it's like you're only going to really do that if you're thinking about going into trade, because they can't come after your company. It's the company they're coming after. They can't come after a man or woman. That's the thing. It doesn't matter if you sign.
Yeah, but the point we're trying to say, though, Carl, is if they do look at your corporation and if they see that it's a John Henry Smith, and then if the director is a living man, John Henry Smith, but then they'll come after him, then, won't they? But what?
No, but they can't, Michael. Michael, they can't.
If the director, what Leslie's saying is, if it's a different name altogether, then it's going to.
I know, but it's the same. It'll still be the same, even if it was your own name, because your own name is the man's or woman's name. They cannot come after a man or woman. Only the director can come after the man or woman if the director had a contract with the man or woman, because the director would be a man or woman.
Yeah, but in Caroline's example, and I don't know the full of it, Caroline, but did they not construe that you were one and the same? Because
of course they did.
Right.
Yeah, but Leslie, they do that anyway. They do that anyway. When they write to any of us in the first place, they construe that we are that limited company without telling us.
Yeah.
So all that Muppet is that's contacting Caroline is just continuing that, ignoring that she's a limited company and still trying to treat her as the implied company.
And that's why, Laurie.
But what Carl's saying is it doesn't matter if they do that, because the truth is when you go to court, you'll just produce the document that shows that, well, there's a limited company, and that's not me. So either you're after the limited company with, the Caroline Angela Hibbert name, limited, or you're after the man or woman, and they're going to have to distinguish the two.
That's it. Because on the original agreement from the actual mortgage company itself, the mortgage company, before they gave it to the receivers or whoever they gave it to, the mortgage company themselves wrote the name down as a company name implied. All in capital letters. They didn't write the lady's name down in uppercase and lowercase. They wrote the company name down. So the receivers are going after that company name. When Caroline mentioned to the receivers to ask them if they had a contract with the Caroline, basically, they said no. So that put the limited company out the way. Then when they wrote to her the next time...
Can I just say, Carl, why not...
So one second. When they wrote to her the next time, which was the last time they wrote to her, they wrote the initials. They didn't write the full name down this time. They wrote the initials. So they've already changed the way they're writing to her. Sorry, Michael, go on. You were going to say...
But the thing is, Carl, that's a lot that you've had to explain. Why not just give someone else's name?
Yeah,
totally.
Because they've got plausible deniability.
And then just leave it at that.
That's it.
That's a lot easier. It's a lot simpler.
Totally.
And there's no way that they can misconstrue that you're talking about the same entity, because it's a completely different name and it's legitimate.
Totally. I totally agree.
You could do that, or you do what Ashley says and hide the name completely.
There you go.
If you notice, they fetter that right with regulations, and I know that the regulations, you have to prove that you're a person of import, like an MP, or you're under threat of some kind of attack because you're working for some vivisection lab or something, and those are the examples they give. So it might not be as straightforward as...
Well, you could just say that you're in the private, so you're outside the UK jurisdiction.
Yeah, I suppose you could try that one. Yeah,
but you are. You're not. Your company is registered. Your company is only registered in. Can do business with United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Your company hasn't even started doing business with United Kingdom.
Oh no, Carl, but I'm saying that the person with significant control is outside the UK jurisdiction, and that's why
certainly. That's why the differentiation. That's why the differentiation when you first sign up to buy the account at Company's House, they differentiate the man and put the man or woman on England, whereas the company is United Kingdom. The differentiation there says it straight away. They've separated us already.
We did that. They didn't do that. We did that.
No, they did it because they did it because they put the country down.
We put down England.
But listen to what I'm saying. They never gave us the option for United Kingdom in the country where the man or woman lived. They didn't give us United Kingdom as an option. United Kingdom was they never gave England the option of the company. They only gave United Kingdom. So there's a differentiation in the companies where the company resides and where the man or woman resides. The man or woman resides on England. The company resides in United Kingdom if it wants to.
But I know what you're saying, but I can't remember what they put on the forms because it was all online, and I can't remember because I did mine last year.
Yeah. It's just weird how they do that because they say who's the owner of the company, like the person that's significant control, the director, whoever, and you write your name down, which is your Christian name, or you can put the whole name if you want, because you're written it down as a man or a woman, but it doesn't reside in United Kingdom as the same as the company.
I'm not sure, Cole. Right, okay. But if we were still sheep, and if we were applying for the limited company, we would put down our name in all caps, even as a director. And there's no all caps entity that lives in England. There aren't any at all.
Okay.
And that would still be accepted.
Yes. Yes, because the thing about it, now you're saying that another company, like what Laurie said earlier on, another company is being in charge, is being a director of that company. You're just putting another company in charge of that company. Because if you're writing the name down in capital letters, as we see it, you're either using it as an acronym or you're writing it down as another company, which is either implied or limited.
No, sorry, the point I'm making is that Company's House aren't distinguishing the fact that we're in England. But it has to be the applicant that's doing that. And if the applicant is a living man or woman, then they should do the name in
Christian name only.
Correct.
Yeah,
Christian name only with hyphen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like when I done mine and they wrote to me, I mean, like they addressed my envelope in the way I write the name, how it was David Wynne Miller. Right. And they addressed my envelope like that, and they addressed me like that.
And you didn't use the surname as the owner of the company?
Yeah, that was just me as the company owner, and basically they just wrote to me how I put it down, and I wrote it down in the David Wynne Miller technique, and they wrote to me in the David Wynne Miller technique. They never had no Mr., no Mrs., nothing. Full colon, lowercase Carl, hyphen, lowercase Michael, hyphen, colon, and then Brian. So they addressed that to me. I opened it because they addressed it to the living man and how I see myself being named. So I opened it and it was my company. And then when I opened up the company and read the pamphlet and it says, yeah, this is now your company's new birth certificate, then I'm seeing my name on it. It's like, okay, well, that's my new birth certificate. But it's the limited company. Now, if any company is trying to do business with me, they're writing to that new birth certificate, but they're not writing to that new birth certificate correctly, like the HMRC would write to it or Company's House would write to it. And they set the precedence. So if they can write to me like that, or my company like that, why can't any other company write to my company like that? Because they don't have contracts, that's all. They have contracts with the implied company, but it's only up to you or us as a man or a woman if we want to stand in them shoes of that implied company's director position. If you want to stand in position of a ghost, then you can. That's up to us. I choose not to. I stand in as a man, but anyway.
So looking at your company, you're under the PSC, they've put you as Master Carl Hyphen. Why did you choose Master?
I don't know. That was 2015, man. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, Gil.
Okay.
But again, I can go on there anytime and change it. But the thing about it, as I said, it doesn't matter who's down on there because it's still dormant. And nobody's coming after me. All they do, they write to me. They don't write that to me when I write to me. They just write to the directors.
Yeah.
Right, they write the full company name down. Do you see?
Yeah.
And then I open it up because they've written to my company. If they write to the company, like Caroline experienced as well, they write to the company in uppercase and lowercase. They're just inviting you or trying to sell you something or whatever, marketing or promotion or whatever. But when they write to you in full capitals and it's your proper company name with the limited, then yeah, pay attention to that because they're telling you something or whatever. And you've got contract with them as a man or a woman, so-called, do you see? But again, as someone keeps mentioning about who, I think Nikki, who owns, who's the director of Company's House, do you see? So it's like, well, the man or woman now is meant to be having a contract with the director of Company's House. Who is that? But anyway.
Oh yeah, I can see when you changed the director, you went Carl-Michael Brian.
You see?
Wicked.
And that's what you do in your confirmation statement. And they then put that through and you're only paying £13 for them to do the administration work. So when you do the change, they just do some bits and pieces on their end and allow that to be changed and supported. And they put that through. So you can put down whatever name you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to put down a surname, whatever. It's just that I ain't got nothing to hide. Plus my company's dormant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't got no contract with my limited company with any other company. So until they start when they write to me, I'll send it back.
Sorry, I'm sick. I'm looking at it, but I'm not seeing the difference between Master Carl and the new details. Like, am I just being sick?
What one are you looking at? The resignation after there's an incorporation. No, on the filings.
I'm looking at change of particulars for director, and it says details prior to change, and it says Master Carl dash, and then it says new details. It says Master Carl. I don't see the difference. I don't understand.
The APO1 appointment of director on the 13th of April 2016.
Are you looking at the PDF document with all the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I share it, Laurie? Would that help?
If that's okay, yeah, thanks.
But then when you look at the front page and you look at the overview and the filing history and stuff like that, you can see all the documents as well, and it'll show you what was what.
That one, yeah.
You see, the thing about it, the first director was a guy called Peter. Now he was the one who set it up because I went through Duport. So I had to appoint myself the new director.
That's all caps, Carl.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. When I wrote it down, I wrote it in English. They change it. That's the thing. This is what I keep saying.
Yeah.
When you write your stuff down, they change it. But when you go on the website, do you see? And you look under the filing history and all that kind of stuff. All them documents today is all in order, incorrect. Because the first director was Peter Vitalis or something like that, and he had to pass it down. When you go and look at the first original stuff, you see all of that because I set it up through Duport. When a lot of people now they're setting up for themselves because they know how to set it up. I didn't know how to set it up, so I went to a company, agent. Company's House directed me. They do it all for Company's House anyway, and I just paid more for it. But they just gave me the whole pack. They gave me the share document. They gave me share memorandum, articles of association, the whole pack really. So whereas with a lot of the guys who just buy it for the tenner, they just get it online and just print off whatever they want.
That's interesting. If you had to go to Duport, because they're the ones that are down as the secretary for Government UK Limited, the one that the M event's supposed to have seized the dissolution.
Yeah, and they're the ones who set it up. So they're going to set it up in their way. So then what we do when we get our account at Companies House, now we're the director, because he was the director. He was setting it up from his angle as the director when he first opened it, because he was opening it up as the director because he was deport basically, and that's how they do it. You need someone to open it. I didn't know how to open it, so they open it for you, and you get the pack. You guys didn't get. I don't believe some of you guys didn't get the pack, the blue pack or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like,
he's put Dewport Limited down as a dormant company, and yet he's trading, I presume. How bizarre!
This is it.
And sorry, who were Dewport the secretary of again?
Government UK Limited.
Yeah.
It's the one that Liz Nolson was supposed to have.
That Asian guy.
Halted the dissolution of the Government UK Limited.
Yeah. Oh, with Coots, James Laird Coots as one of the directors. Interesting.
That's what I was saying before. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I was saying Coots.
You know, that's interesting on Companies House. You know, when you look at like if you go into like your company and then you go into people.
Yeah.
And then it says like office, obviously like for most of us it'll just be one officer. And then your name is written with your surname first, all capitalized, then it's a comma, and then it's your first name, it's only the first letter capitalized.
Yep.
Then when you click on that, that takes you to obviously your details as the company director. But when you go into like the bit where it says persons with significant control, still in the limited company part, now your name's written with just the first letters capitalized and the rest is lowercase.
Yeah.
So you must have a different status when as the officer versus the person with significant control.
Of course. They have their way of doing things because they've got their way of doing things and putting it into the way they've made it. So it's hard for us to figure out, maybe. But as I said, as long as it's dormant, it's not trading.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn. And I don't mean that disrespectfully and rudely, but it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to ask the question of them as to why they use these different styles.
Totally. Yeah. But again, we're just putting the point. I can turn around tomorrow and say, well, look, hold up a minute. You're writing this name down as a company name. Why is it written down in capital letters? Is that explaining the legal sense, or is that explaining English? Yeah. Which way are you using it? Or is it sign language? How are you using it? I can ask Companies House them questions.
Or is it a trust?
There you go.
We've got to ask this question because we are presuming it's corporate. We don't know that for certain.
Even still, though, Leslie, but it's still a breach of Section 32 of the Larceny Act. False pretenses.
Safe to say that a trust does not have to declare itself or give information. So that might excuse their actions if they are acting as a trust.
That's why it's implied, because nobody's there behind it to actually stand up and own up to what information there is.
But the trust still needs to have a contract with you anyway.
Which is your certified copy of an entry.
Yeah.
Birth certificate.
I think
sorry, I was looking into this today, and if it's a trust, like they're saying that, so for instance, because my dad passed away, I'm having to, as the executor of his will, I'm having to take care of everything, and everything's obviously in the all capitalized name. So, but then that made me think that that's interesting, because now my dad appointed me as the executor of his estate.
Yeah.
So we must be able to appoint somebody as the executor of our own estate, even when we're alive.
Yeah.
So
well, no, it's going to be a trustee, Laurie. You'll be appointing someone else as trustee or power of attorney, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying, Michael, is you don't have to. You can appoint them as general executor, because that's what I am in the will. I'm not appointed as just a trustee. I'm appointed as the general executor.
Yeah, that's because it was a testamentary trust. That's why, because it's a will.
But what I'm saying is you can do that yourself for your own trust. This trust that they're saying right now that, like, so for instance, Carl's saying it's an implied company. Leslie's saying, well, is it a trust? And I'm saying, well, it technically doesn't matter, because if it's a limited company, you've now owned the limited company by registering it on Companies House. And if they come back and say, oh, it's a trust, all you have to do is make up the equivalent of a living will and assign somebody as the general executor, which you can assign yourself as.
But in that case, because there's a liability, you want to appoint them as a trustee and yourself as a beneficiary.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is you can appoint yourself as a general executor, so then you can come forward in an official capacity and ask the questions that Carl's saying you can ask as a director.
Yeah.
But now you can ask it as a general executor, and they would have to answer you. They couldn't know you as the person, the man or woman, sorry.
Yeah.
So you'd have an official capacity.
If they're seeing you as a legal entity.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you become the general executive, then you become a legal entity.
That's it.
And you have the right to ask the questions.
Yeah, totally. You have to be on top. You have to be the king of the chessboard, basically.
And that's what I'm saying. So if you make yourself the general executor of that estate, nobody can be above you. Because if you just make yourself a trustee, somebody else can claim the role of executor.
Yeah.
Whereas if you make yourself the general executive, nobody can be above you.
Yeah.
But it's like being the director of the limited company. No one can.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So the general executor is basically the highest standing within a trust.
To administrate. Yeah.
There you go.
But they're also liable.
Yes.
Until
same as a director will be liable for the limited company.
Yeah.
But Michael, the great thing is you're not really signing up for liability in the beginning. You're just asking them questions, so that they have to come forward and prove that they have a claim and that everything's legal, tick box, everything applies. So when you're coming forward, you're not really coming forward and going, "Hey, I'm liable," unless you're dumb and you go, "I'll pay for anything that's in that name." We're not doing that. We're just coming forward and saying, "Who are you? Who's, you know what I mean?" And give us the proof of the claim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my point though, Laurie, is that as the general executor, but you are liable. So that's why we need to be careful with that. That's
no, she's not liable. The implied company that they've written down is liable.
What she's saying is that if they say that it's a trust that they're dealing with, but if the implied corporation is a trust,
sure.
Then if you say that you're the general executor, then you are liable.
Sure, but what Laurie's saying though is that on the documents the names are written down in capital letters. So for Laurie, for example, if she goes in and they say, "Do you have any identification?" If she puts the title deed down on the table, then that's the match. The only thing different is that on their document it doesn't have the limited on it. So that gives Laurie an upper standing because the name they've written down is implied. So who is that? Because if it's as Leslie says, if it's a trust, they've got to explain why they're writing it in capital letters. If it's not a trust, they have to, and it's a limited company, they have to explain why they've left off the limited. If it's and then they've got to explain why is it written in capital? Why isn't it, if it's written to the woman, then and the woman's being the general executor, why isn't it written in uppercase and lowercase? So you've got many different ways of looking at it, and they have to explain how they are putting down in the first place. They're the ones who's writing it. You're not writing it. If you was writing it, then you can't come back on that. But you haven't written it. For example, as Laurie said about her grandfather or her father, basically is that my question is, how did he write it down in the first place? Because he must have written it down. So he's not going to write Laurie and her surname in full capital letters. Yeah. He's going to write it in uppercase, lowercase.
The woman, yeah.
There you go. So that must have got transferred into uppercase somewhere along the line from what he wrote.
Mm.
Well, that's the thing. Most wills are done by a lawyer. So guess what? The lawyer puts everything in all capital names.
This is it. Now, the thing about it now, this is where it goes back to the Chicago Manual of Style, where it says that book was published in 1906 for anybody who designs documents. So if a lawyer is designing a document, they should know the rules of that book. So you throw sign language at them that is the book you're throwing at them to find out if they're using that. If they're not using that, then what are they using? Are they using legalese? Are they using English? What are they using? What language are they using, first of all, if the lawyers are drawing it up?
Yeah.
And when you go and speak to a lawyer, when you ask them about words written in capital letters, they will actually tell you it's legalese they're using. So what language is that? And what definitions of the words are you actually using and pointing to when you're actually using these words in capital letters? So my name in capital letters, what are you pointing to verify and clarify that is that? Because you can't be pointing, if you're pointing to English language, then it's an acronym. So it can't be my name.
But the trouble with that is if the lawyer will readily admit that they're in part of that will, they're using legalese, they're mixing it with English, which immediately clashes two jurisdictions and makes it invalid.
Certainly, so they'll treat you differently. But nobody knows how they'll treat you because nobody's questioning them like this.
Yeah.
So that's fraud by misrepresentation then, whatever it's called.
There you go. And that's the thing. When I went down with one of the ladies there, went down to the solicitors, and at the end of the conversation, he said to me, if you would have asked me if it was legalese, this language was legal, I would have agreed with you. Oh. So I knew that, yeah, when I questioned him, because I said to him, look, if you're reading that word in capital letters, then that makes you an illiterate person. And you shouldn't be in the job that you're in because you're illiterate. You can't read the English language. And that's the thing about it. You get them on that. They're illiterate. How can an illiterate person be doing business with somebody who's literate? You need to go back. You need to go back to school and learn your language before you come and even talk to me because you're illiterate.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the point. The point is you don't understand legalese. Just throw it back. I don't know.
But that's what illiteracy is.
No. The point I'm saying, it doesn't matter what. But if they're writing to you in legalese, and if they're going to admit that, you just need to throw it back at them and say you need to write it in English because I don't speak legalese. But
that's the thing. That's what you're doing when you're returning their letters. You're returning to the sender because
I think it's better to be explicit. To be honest, I'll just be explicit and tell them that.
Yeah, of course. But that's that little sticker I wrote. And put it on. You put it on the window at the envelope. That's what I'm saying. That's what I wrote on the little sticker. If you read the sticker, it says, "Look, important. If you're writing to a company, write it in correct grammar and spelling and style, so you know that it's a man or woman you're writing to, or are you writing to a company? Because there's a differentiation there. You see, they have to pay attention to what I'm saying there. So I'm sending it back to them with the sticker on and say, look, pay attention to that. They pay attention to it. Sorry.
Sorry, I've got a question on the back of that. Like, so I've been sending my letters back, like that sticker with that sticker, and now they're writing to, instead of writing to Miss Lauren, they're now writing to Miss L.
They will, because now it could be.
So they just keep sending that back.
There you go. Because that could be Linda, that could be Louise, that could be anybody.
It could be Lawrence.
There you go. No, but that's it. That's it. That is it. Because this is it. They know that, okay, once you start sending back letters and they've got stickers on, they're going to, like Caroline, in Caroline's scenario, when we was on the phone, the guy was automatically went straight on the computer, looked her name up and saw it was a limited company. So he was like, okay, cool. And then he went silent for one moment, and he must have went silent for at least 45 seconds. Wow. And I was saying to Caroline, look, the guy's gone silent. Look, he's just lost for words. Do you know what I mean? Guy went quiet, just quiet. Didn't know what to say in some of the things what Caroline was saying to him. And he was trying to pass it on to one woman. That woman wasn't in charge. Then he passed it on to this woman. This woman wasn't in charge. But, they were just blundering their words. It was crazy. Mm. But yeah, we got to pay attention on how they're writing the name down, because again, as in Laurie's scenario, they're writing her name down in all capital letters. But again, who was writing that down? If the solicitor drew it up, the question is, well, if the solicitor got the original letter in the first place, you want to see the original letter because it should be still in the solicitor's hands. And the original letter would spell your name out correctly. So why has he changed your name from uppercase, lowercase, what was in the original letter in your father's handwriting or your grandfather's handwriting? Just see, if they wrote it out from their own hand, that's their homograph. That's
yeah, but that's I don't think my dad has written it out by his own hand, because normally here you go when you write a will, you just go to the lawyer, you tell him what you want to do, blah blah blah, and then the lawyer makes up the legal document, and then you just sign it.
Now you question. Now then you question the lawyer. What language is he writing the name in? Because he will have to tell you, out of the duty of candor as well. Caroline keeps speaking about the duty of candor. You don't even have to say that to him. You can just say, look, what language are you writing down when you write that name in capital letters? Yeah. And he will have to tell you. If you can, and then whatever one he tells you, then you make your decision from there. If he tells you legalese, then it's like, all right, cool. Now you know that you're dealing with a foreign language. Okay, well, I don't read legalese. Could you put it in English? And then you tell him what you want doing. Because remember, they are public servants.
Right.
We just got to know how to treat them. If we're not treating them correctly, then of course they're going to do us with a backhander.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, they're going to take you for a ride, man.
Mm.
They're hustlers.
Pirates.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah. Laurie, that's a really interesting point, though, isn't it? You're thinking on this.
It's just because everything I've been seeing over the last 3 months as I'm dealing with this. And I've got the other issue that my dad had 2 first names, like 2 Christian names, but he used the second one, not the first one. So of course the legal document has got both names, but all these financials have only got the second one. So now I'm running into this issue where they want me to confirm the account number, the address, and everything, because the 2 trust names don't add up. They're not the same. So they're now trying to get me to volunteer that information so that it can be seen as my mistake, so that everything can be, do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So because of what we're doing here and because of what we're going through trust-wise, I'm starting to see it's not that they impose that on us, it's that we volunteer. We step into that role.
Totally.
Yeah.
So for instance, I've got one where it was a debt collector who'd phoned and I said, oh, he's passed away, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm getting a letter from another bank whoever this debt collector worked for has obviously told that bank, who now writing to me saying that I contacted their bereavement team and gave the first, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there laughing going,
no, I didn't.
I never did that. So now I'm sitting there going, this letter actually proves that he doesn't have an account. Without me saying anything, they've actually shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah. It's all they just when things happen, because it goes into the system, all of them jump on it and they just want the business.
Yeah.
They're already out there for business. That's it. They want to get whatever commission they can get.
Laurie, what do you mean that your dad had 2 Christian names? Do you mean a Christian name and a middle name, or 2?
Yeah.
Christian
Yeah.
names?
So for instance, let's just say his name was
John Henry.
But he only used the name.
Oh right, yeah, I'm with you now. Yeah.
Right. So when I've informed them of his full name, because that's what's on the death certificate, that's what had to go on it, because you go through the council to get the death certificate, and unfortunately I had to get that so I could do the funeral, because you can't supposedly do a funeral without one. Mm-hmm. They've had to put the legal name because they match it up with the birth certificate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But everything that he's ever signed up to, he's only ever used
the one name.
The one name. So now they're having an issue where they're going, but that's not what they've got in their file. So unless I corroborate all the details, like the account number, the address, the date of birth, the everything else to match those 2 up, they're saying that's not the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying we don't have an account in that name.
Well, they need to dissolve the corporation, don't they?
So hold up, wait a minute. Sorry, 1 second. Can I just jump in there? So how was the account first set up in the first place? He must have had given them some identification of some sort. So and back in the day, we used to just give birth certificates. So they must have his birth certificate as opening up the account in the first place, because they can't just get rid of a birth certificate as identification for an account holder.
Yeah, but I think over the years what's happened is because he's always just signed that one name, he's obviously asked them, can you just take that other name off? Because I never use it, and they've done it.
Certainly. He might have asked him to take it off, but the fact is what document did he first give them? Because they should still have that on file. Because if you go and open up your bank account with a passport, the first ever bank account you open, that's the first document, and in 15 years passes, and you go and say, look, where's the original document I opened up this account with? They can probably show, and it should be on the account, so they can show you that it was the passport. So if he opened it up with his birth certificate, they can probably go into the account and see the document you actually open, because you have to have a legal document to open up an account with in the first place. And that legal document's going to have your full name on it, because it's come from the birth certificate. Whether you
I get that, but this is going to be like,
that's a request he's asking. It's like a deed poll. Remember, a deed poll, you only do that for yourself. It's not a contract to do with anybody else. It's only for yourself, a deed poll. So it's like he's gone into the bank and requested. So he's requested that, and they've just paid attention to his request. It still doesn't change the fact of what document he gave them in the initial first place.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, because he would have given that original document over 50 years ago, I don't think they have it.
No, they should do. That account has to have a starting point, because you can tap in and you can say, look, I want accounts. I want paperwork for the accounts, for the whole of these accounts, for the day it was open, and they have to provide it, and they will provide it.
But then they'll say that according to data protection, they only have data for the last 7 years.
Yeah, but again, it depends. If you're the genuine executor, then you should be able to access whatever.
No, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, Carl, is they delete the data after 7 years.
Yeah,
so I worked in a bank. They just shred all that stuff, especially way back when it was paper records.
You see, this is it.
After 7 years, they shred all the documents.
Don't they hold a microfiche or anything?
No, definitely not. No.
See, this is where I keep going back to the bank account, because again, the bank account's written in capital letters, and it's written to an implied company and a legal name. And it's probably, if you look on the bank card, the name's probably initials anyway as well. So you can see it's a completely different account to what your father or grandfather has. Do you see? So it's crazy what they're doing, man. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to say on that with the bank side of things. But again, the only thing I would do is find out from the solicitor what language he's writing your name in the first place, and all the names on the document. And if there's any boxes on there, question them on the four corners rule. Why is this written in the box? Why is it separated from the one entire skin? All these questions.
Yeah.
Just not the language, you know.
I've got another question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I've just got in through the post a council tax bill, supposedly to Miss. On the left-hand side, that's what it says, right, with the address. I opened it, but obviously I can still seal it and send it back, right? And on the right-hand side, it's got Miss Law, all capitals.
Yeah.
And then the address is in all capitals. So it's like, that's two entities then, isn't it? That's not just one.
Yeah, what they're doing for the mail purpose, they're sending you in the window pane addressed to the letter. If you open the letter, you're going to see that now you've contracted, so they can write your name. So if you go ahead with that letter, you're agreeing to be in both them names. One is the legal name, two is the implied company name. Or, as Leslie says, it could be the
trust.
The trust.
Right.
Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
So once again, this is what I'm saying about they will try and catch us out, because they'll write the name to the man or the woman, uppercase and lowercase, which is a legal entity, because they're using the Christian name and the surname. They're not writing it. So once the legal entity opens that letter, then if there's an implied company name or trust name there, then you're agreeing to be in that, because you're responding to that, and then you're going into conversation with them.
So you wouldn't recommend writing a letter asking them who they're writing to at that point? You would just send it back?
You can do, because the thing about it, I mean, like you can easily say, well, again, what language are they using to write the name in capital letters? Are they writing to a company? Are they writing it as English? If it's English, an acronym, is it sign language? Is it legalese? What? Because they're writing the name, they're addressing the envelope to. There's a good video. I think who done a video on it? Dean Clifford. Romley Stewart, John Harry. Yeah, quite a few of them have done good videos on that, because they say how to write back to them, and there's a lot of templates out there. Get Out of Debt Free, Mark Ceylon, and forget the other guy's name when they was running it. But yeah, they got a lot of templates on Get Out of Debt Free as well. But yeah, I mean, like them kind of things it's just their paperwork. It's like, it's just all over the place. They got
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, if they've got two different entities, then isn't that it? Yeah, but also haven't I then got proof of kind of like the falsehoods?
Yeah, they've got to prove. They got to prove what it is they're writing to, and they have to prove. If you agree, if you don't question it, that means you're agreeing. You're agreeing to it. If you question it, they have to answer it, because all they're doing, they're sending you this dummy contract, and they're going to see if you want to negotiate in a certain sense. Because if you just agree with it, that means they can write your next letter will come all in capital letters in the envelope window, not uppercase, lowercase.
Oh, right.
You see. Because if you read the letter over, it's probably just a promotional letter.
No, it's a demand letter for council tax for the year.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, because they don't have a contract with a woman. Do you see? Because it's a council. The council is an organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're trying to get to the legal woman by putting her name in the box window, and then when she opens it, she sees the implied company. Now the council can have a contract with that company, and they're writing to the company. They're writing to the implied company name when you open it up and see your name in capital letters.
Right.
Do you know the name and address? What was in the box window?
Yeah.
On the letter itself, was that actually in a box? On the letter? Right. Now, you know the full capital letter word, was that on the page and not in a box?
Both of them are in boxes, right next to each other.
So this is what I'm saying. Now they're saying that none of them names are actually on that document.
Right.
Because it's not in the entire skin. They've put a box. So that's the four corners rule. They've taken that off the page. So they can't say, if you're blind to it, you're going to say, yeah, oh, that's me. And both of them is going to be you. But because you know about the four corners rule, that puts it in a box, that takes it off the page. So they're not actually addressing it to anybody if both names are in the box.
Mm. And you've got it by opening and responding.
Mm.
Yeah.
So does that change how I respond then?
Totally, because they're not writing to anyone.
Just say that I don't know who you're writing to because I can't see it. I don't explain it to them. I might just say that I can't see it.
Right.
I can't see it because it's in the four corners.
And plus, at the end of the day, okay, so they've written the whole name down in the address box window.
Yeah.
And they've written the full name with the surname included.
Yeah.
See, there again, they're writing to a legal entity. You're not the legal entity. You're just the Christian name.
Yeah.
So you can put it as return to sender, wrong addressee.
I think Laurie said that on the left-hand side it was in small capitals, and then on the right-hand side it was full capitals. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, on the left-hand side it's but just with the first two letters, like the first, letter of each.
Sorry, yeah, okay.
Yeah, capitalized. The rest is lowercase. And then on the other side, everything is capitalized, like name and address.
But it had in front of it, didn't it?
But it's all in the box.
Yeah, it had the mess in front of it, yeah.
Oh, that's funny because mine doesn't. Because I haven't even opened my envelope yet. I mean, it's still there, so I'm thinking of returning it because it's just all caps name.
That's it.
It doesn't have a mystery in front of it.
That's it. It's just that now they're guessing. When they don't have Mr., they're guessing, and they're trying to fish even deeper, because when they're writing to Mr., that means you're still on the Admiralty maritime ship. When they leave off the Mr., you're not, but they don't put the limited either. So now you're more of an invisible.
Well, they wrote to me both ways. They wrote to me in uppercase, lowercase, care of the All Capitals Limited.
Yeah.
And I sent it back because clearly I don't have a
For your council, Caroline.
council, yeah, and I haven't heard from them since.
You see,
Yeah, they tried to get me both ways. So they wrote to me first. Yeah, they wrote on this in the window everything. Caroline, care of Caroline Limited.
you see what they did though, as you see there, they wrote her name first.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't write the company name first.
No.
Because they didn't have a contract with the company.
Yeah.
They wrote her name first, then they wrote care of the company if she was just residing in the company. That's it. So they was looking for a woman to jump out and say, yeah, that's me. But because there might be no one called Caroline as a woman there. You see, Caroline is the limited company. That's up to them to decide if there's a woman there or not. That's the question. They've got to. That's the question you leave them hanging with, because there is no one called Caroline. There is none. There's only a Caroline.
Yeah.
Can I just interject slightly different? But has anybody sent off their sensors back or not?
Binned it
too.
Okay. Michael, did you send yours back, Michael?
I think he's gone to make a coffee.
Okay.
I didn't answer the one in 2011 either, and I never got any more follow-up from it, so I wouldn't worry about.
And they're always addressing it to the occupier anyway.
Yes, they do.
Or the home owner.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So no reply since from your last one.
No comeback.
What can they do anyway? What exactly can they do?
They say they can fine, but I've never heard of it happening.
No.
Do you know it's not the government actually doing it? It's someone doing it on behalf of the government. Did you realise that?
Of course it is. Of course
it's not the government that's doing the census.
Of course it is.
Was it a company?
Well, yeah, you could. It's a third party.
Right.
Look what you do. You look up the company name, who's putting the document together. Look them up on Companies House, and then you see if they're a limited company, and then you know it's business they are doing.
Got any contract?
There you go.
Anyway, guys, it's gone 11. I'm going to my bed. Good night.
Right, Caroline.
Very good meeting.
Night, Caroline.
All right. Good night, guys. Good night.
Take care, darling.
Right.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay, so going for, just because I'm going to shoot off soon. Going back to these notes in the chat.
Yeah.
With all these 2006 company sections and so forth, we need to, if we need to write our letters, we're looking for did you say the person of significant control and witnesses and so forth?
Yeah, and signing documents properly in accordance with the Company Act, 2 signatures and under seal.
Those are the areas we can quote when trying to dig deep, basically.
Yeah.
I would just say something along the lines of that I've received a document from yourselves, but it appears to be an invalid. It doesn't appear to be a valid document according to the Companies Act 2006. And please address it, or please write it appropriately.
Yeah.
Are we assuming HMPO is a company then?
We know they are from company check.
Right. Okay.
It's got 2 company numbers, but it's hidden on Companies House.
Right.
But you'll find that loads of times. It's always good to look on Company Check first, because you get more information out of companies than you do from Companies House.
Because you can always ask them who they actually registered with, because you've got their company number. So you can say your company, blah, 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 company number, blah, 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 who is actually your registering, who you registered with, basically. can ask them that.
Yeah, because it could be abroad, couldn't it?
That's it. It could be abroad.
Yeah.
It could be in the Isle of Man or somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, that's me done for this evening, guys. Very good, very good Zoom meeting.
When are we going to do the next one? Do you want to pick a date?
Whenever's good for you. I mean, like Les, whenever's good for you. I appreciate you putting it together.
I'm easy. I don't go out anywhere.
So. I'm the same. It's just that I didn't know. I didn't really want to keep hassling you, keep asking you all the time. Oh, can you say it? I'll say it. I mean, like, all right, yeah. If you want to do Saturday or whatever.
When do people want to do it?
Well, if you can't do a Saturday, I don't mind doing another Tuesday. It's really up to you. You know,
it was only last week that I had a bit of a mare, so it was about.
I do prefer weekends, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can stick with the Saturday then.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably not this Saturday or with next Saturday. It's up to everybody. So
I can't do the Saturday coming, but
not this Saturday. The next Saturday.
Yeah, I can do that one.
Yeah, I can do that too.
3rd of April, then. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the good time for people?
And then
1 o'clock normally.
How much?
1 o'clock normally.
1 o'clock. Okay.
Is there anything that we want to try to?
I think we should go through some of these acts that we've just talked about and really understand them. And then, of course, we can just quote all these different sections if we need to quote the section, or we can just say, according to Companies Act 2006, Larceny Act 1916, whatever it was, Fraud Act 206. So we can just, but as long as we understand the legislation, because they're bound by the legislation, we're not, they are. So we need to tell them, you're bound by this.
Yes.
And then just say that, so the document's not valid. You could say that they haven't divulged who the directors are or the person with significant control. So, I mean, you can say things like that and just put those in the document.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's going to be a good exercise. Personally, I don't know what anyone else thinks, but
I agree.
No, I think that makes sense, Michael. Must be armed before you go into battle.
Totally.
Yeah.
Again, what we're reading is the
Otherwise, you're twice lost before the battle's begun.
Yeah, it's the Companies Act. A Companies Act. So remember, you're reading it on behalf of your company.
Yeah.
You're reading it in the director's position of the company. It's nothing to do with this implied company.
Yeah.
So try not to get it mixed up. That whole up. What we're reading is for our limited company. It's not for our implied company. Because we're not in charge of the implied company, so we don't really matter what goes on with that company. That's nothing to do with us. But the limited company, yes. If somebody starts writing to you, like Caroline had that letter, had her name and then the limited company underneath, they're trying to get you under that company, basically. They're not writing to the company, but again, they're looking at the company as a limited company. So now you have a legal standing because they're trying to get at your limited company. So it's not the man or the woman they're coming after. So I fully understand everything, what you're saying about the Companies Act and everything else. But I just like to know that, okay, in my looking, I'm just seeing it from the legal side of it will only apply to the limited company that you're in charge of. So it doesn't apply to the implied company. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just a note for myself as well. Just speaking that out loud.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of things to read and it's interesting. Definitely interesting.
It is. Bloody brilliant. Thank you.
As long as we're questioning them and letting them deny answering it. If they can't answer anything, then we've got them, at least we've written the letter and we've got it logged.
Yeah.
And we've got it recorded delivery or whatever it is we're doing, because we can easily turn around and say, well, look, I wrote to you back. Here's the date I wrote to you. Here's the recording of it.
Yeah.
So you still haven't answered these questions. Before I can go forward, I need these questions answering.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, really. So
cool.
Just get our thinking heads on about questions.
Lord, I thyself, seek and ye shall find. I tell you this now, it's in no African mind. Searching diamonds, gold, silver, platinum, them the kind of things, illusions you fathom. Yeah, they call it magic. Right, you're right, it's tragic. I know, clever what they done, fantastic. Come against me now, you end up in a straight jacket. I'll prove you illiterate. One question, the language. Now who's the pickle in the sandwich? This kind of knowledge that you're hearing will damage you, destroy you. Don't worry, I'll employ you, get you back on track, so you can defend your own attack. Gold chain round your neck, nothing to me. Diamonds in your teeth, nothing to me. You could be rolling 22s, nothing to me. Down with the truth, now that's something to me. Gold chain round your neck, nothing to me. Diamonds in your teeth, nothing to me. You could be rolling 22s, nothing to me. Down with the truth, now that's something to me. Blah, 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 blah.